Podcast, where you get all the latest gaming news, hot topics, and more. With guest Triple Cup Chuck, Livewires Gaming, 108 Dragons TV, Bloody Knuckles, Operations Op, 100, live, and your host, K Mega 405. The GRG Podcast
starts right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here and we are doing it live. We are back. The GRG podcast is Ladies and gentlemen, we are here and we are doing it live. We are back. The GRG podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here and we are doing it live. We are back. So yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Let me know if there's any audio issues or anything like that, because I'm going off of something else other than my OBS, my regular OBS. So if anything else is going on, please let me know in the chat. Other than that, without further ado, man, let's get to it. I do have something I want to say after we get done with the introductions. Man, but first let's get to it, man. Coming at you, man. We here. Well, we got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight, man, so we might as well get started. But let's get to the introductions, man. Let's go to my main man, Operations Op. What's going on with you, bro? How you been? How was your Thanksgiving and all that stuff?
Oh, man. Fuck VR.
Whoa.
Like, nah. Fuck VR, bro. We don't need that shit. Anywho, it's been good. With the family and whatnot. Gaming-wise, unfortunately, I haven't done nothing for the past week or so. It's been really chill for me.
Okay. All right. Well, that's cool. That's one hell of a way to get an entrance going. I'll tell you that. That's for damn sure. GRG podcast. Thank you guys, ladies. The introductions. All right. So 100. What's going on with you, bro? How was your Thanksgiving, man? What's going on with you, man?
He was all right and was fucked up at the same time, because I thought I didn't do nothing for Thanksgiving. Then I had to mess around and cook on the grill. They pulled me out the bullpen. I'm the closer.
Man, but first let's get.
So I had to go cook for the fam bam that Saturday. But no, it was a good week, you know what I'm saying? I can't complain, you know what I'm saying? Thanks that we all here.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? After all the BS that's going on in our lives and stuff, stuff happens, you know what I'm saying? We here.
All right, cool. Yeah, sorry for the intro lapse and all that stuff, because like I said, when I was flipping over from one OBS to another OBS to doing something else, I started saying, I put in the wrong damn intro. I sat there and worked on that other intro. I was like, oh man, come on, man, let me do this shit. So anyway, yeah, there was some crazy stuff going on in the beginning. That's all right, as long as the show is not ruined, we all right. So cool. So all right, man, we got, man, hey, no need to summon the Dolphins, because the Dolphin King, a.k.a. our Donald Trump, a.k.a. Livewires Gaming, is already in the building. I think people are hyped tonight. I think people have a lot of things they want to get off their chest tonight. I actually think that people are really ready to go in, and I think that's why there's so many people that's waiting for us right now tonight, because they want to express it in the chat. They want to hear what our opinions are, because there's so many things that we want to talk about. But already here, man, the Dolphin King himself, Livewire. What's going on with you, bro? It never fails. It never fails. He's probably talking to the mic right now. I don't even know it.
Pause.
Lord have mercy.
Yo, let me do him. I'm gonna do him.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I don't really give a shit about the intro, and fuck it. Yeah.
You know what? That was a pretty damn good. That was a pretty good damn Dolphin King. I have to say that was pretty damn good. Yeah, you started off right. The delivery was pretty solid. I got to give it to you. All right, man. Without further ado, man, let's move on.
Give me my Oscars out here, baby.
Man, hey, man, for best performance for the internet, Donald Trump. Hey, man, give it to my man.
I'll talk a little bit more in a second. But my daughter is still up.
Little Ivanka.
Oh, put her on. Special guest, Ivanka.
My special guest, Ivanka. Go ahead, Ivanka. How you doing?
Oh no.
You doing all right, Ivanka? How is it?
Yeah.
Daddy treating you right?
She went to get her diaper changed, so
Okay.
I'll mute
Never
myself
get daddy
until
in daddy daycare. Some
Hey,
people
listen to
ain't got daddies.
Listen to that. Yeah. At least we know our man is a father, man. He's over here changing diapers, doing what he's supposed to do.
And you know what, K Mega? PlayStation did not teach him how to be a father.
No,
Stupid.
he has a daughter.
Oh
He
shit!
doesn't
He
have-
said it did not teach her.
You know what I'm saying? The PlayStation did not
Oh
teach
man,
him
I'm
how
sorry,
to be a
people.
father.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh my God, that's so disrespectful. Anyway, but what's Lemetheus from the Zeus 108 Dragons TV? What's up with you, brother? That was a really good video. I like that little thing that you showed. What was it called again?
It's the Lee Powell
Lee Powell.
portable gaming streaming monitor. Does everything. Hook up the PlayStation, all your consoles, your cell phones. It can be added as a second screen to your multiple gaming situation. It's great. I'm glad people enjoyed it. I'm glad for the support. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy for everybody who came out and supported me on the Iron Lords podcast this week.
Yes, no doubt about it.
GRG was in the building. Shout out to my man Six Slayer, who will no longer be talking to y'all in the chat. Well, he might be because he got his computer in the back. But he's here with the dude Lemetheus.
Nice.
Facts.
Big shout out to Six Slayer. Hey, man, Thomas Franks in the building, man, showing support to the crew. Said, we doing it live. He said, Op 108, Mr. 100. He brought back the old 100. He said, Mr. 100, live, triple cup, and the main man himself. Oh, I'll edit that main man, but I'll take it. The fearless leader himself, Mr. 405.
I thought you were going to say Xbox.
He said he thought you was talking about Xbox. Oh no!
Oh, man. He said, family, you guys bring it home tonight. So much to talk about. Absolutely. Like I said, we got great topics tonight to talk about. That's why on this first topic, we better be lickety split quick on that shit. I don't want to talk about it too long.
Man, I feel hurt though.
And Knuckles, I don't want you to go in full detail on the first topic because we got other hot shit to talk about. But regardless of that, thank you, Thomas Franks, as usual, man. We definitely appreciate it. But Lemetheus, anything else you want to add, man? And big shout out to the Iron Lords for having you on. You did a good job, man. You pulled out that Purple Rain shirt. And then, we
got my
you,
prints on.
I didn't know what the hell you was doing when you was trying to take off that shirt. I said, man, hell to the
They're
no.
take off the shirt.
They're going to have to add a little bit more women to the podcast.
You had a bra on?
And I'd have been stripping.
Bro.
You know
You had a bra on?
Nah. You know what? I'm gonna
Hey, good thing you wasn't on Twitch because that would have got your ass banned.
I'm
Damn,
gonna keep it.
son.
No. It was
You trying to
respect.
sabotage their show? Nobody want to see your big old biggies.
Ooh,
You know what?
see?
See, my dog is howling right now. He want a piece of you, Bone. Literally, Bone.
Hey, man, back to my main man Thomas Franks. He said, "Bloody." He said, "Bloody." He said, "My bad, bro. Much love to you, King." No doubt. And man, like I said, Triple Cup. He's out there doing whatever he's doing, man. I know that he's part of the Yang Gang. Maybe Chuck will be back real soon because it don't look like Yang Gang is going to make it. Hopefully he does because really there's nobody of color yet going to be on the debate, in the Democratic debates. Nothing but old white folk, man. What the hell going on, man? We're supposed to be the party of diversity. What the hell's happening? But anyway, so support Yang Gang, support Cory Booker, and then all the women that's left. Fuck it. Anyway, so let's go. Let's get to it. Last but not least, Bloody Knuckles. What's going on with you, bro?
Hey, what's going on, man? You already know what it is. I'm ready to pop off tonight. I have some words to say, but man, it's been a crazy week. One, I've been moving. I was like, so I got all set up in my new spot that everyone got to see. Your boys representing right. Been streaming hardcore since I got back, but I'm ready to get into these topics. There's been 2 weeks of juice, and I'm ready to let it loose.
Hey, Vodka said no neoliberals, Mega. Hey, man, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do here, man. Listen. I definitely need to do a politics show because I really do love talking about politics. I watch politics more than watching TV shows. I watch sports, politics, and play games. That's me. Anyway, so let's get to it. First topic of the night. Well, look like that there's some remasters popping up and also a remake. There's been reports that Vanquished is going to have a remake coming out next year. Also that there's going to be a Bayonetta remake come out next year as well. Plus there's been some talk, and that was on the PlayStation hotline, that Resident Evil 3 remake is going to be coming out, and especially with the positive vibes that you got from Resident Evil 2 remake, why the hell not? Those games look fantastic. And I played the demo. I haven't bought the game yet. I know that they had a sale, but there were some other games that I wanted to get, and I'll pick up Resident Evil later on. But I'm just kind of not in the scary games like that anymore. I used to love them, but I kind of faded away from them a little bit. But anyway, let me go to my main man, Bloody Man. Get this topic out the way and talk about it. Which of the three are you more excited about? People in the panel, which of the three are you more excited about? Would you get all three, or is it just one, two in particular that you are hyped for from hearing about this news?
Oh, no, I'd get all three because all those games are amazing. Vanquish was a very underrated, fast-paced action shooter that came out last generation from Sega on the 360 PS3 era. Mm-hmm. Bayonetta is still one of the best action RPGs that's very fun to play. I was like, there's a reason why it's so hyped on the Switch with Bayonetta 2 and 3. So them doing a remaster to revamp it, even though we got both of those games at back compat, will be wonderful to see. Resident Evil 3, I love Nemesis. That was probably my favorite one that I watched growing up, watching my cousin play. So I would absolutely love to see what they can do with the remake after what they accomplished with 2 and utilizing the new engine. All three would be wonderful gets for me personally. If all this is true, I'm all with it. That's just me.
Cool. Excellent. All right. What about you? Operations. Are you hyped about this news coming out in 2020?
I'm moderately hyped. I play a little bit of Vanquish on backwards compatibility right now. I did it myself. The fact that these are getting remastered as well, this is pretty dope. It is Bayonetta 1, correct? Getting remastered?
Yes, it's Bayonetta 1.
Yeah, I got to beat that one as well because I started at backwards compatibility, but I haven't gotten a chance to finish it. So actually go ahead and beat them. I guess a higher fidelity, which we're actually pretty cool. So this is actually pretty good news. A lot of people are actually been big fans of those games because I'm glad they actually are backwards compatibility and are getting more love for remasters as well. Because there's a lot of people who unfortunately miss out on those games. There's a lot of hype, there's a lot of fan love behind them, but there still could be a lot more people that can actually embrace those two IPs and like discover them for itself. So this is a good way to get those games out there for more people to discover. So this is great.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it, man. And also, there's something that I forgot. It was crossing my because I was over here switching, trying to do stuff. But I got to give a big shout out, huge shout out to Streets. Man, appreciate it, man. He is a new member of the GRG family, man. He has joined the GRG family in a sense by being a member, and I definitely appreciate that, man. He did that earlier today. I was setting up everything and putting things together, and I saw him earlier today that he just became a member, and then also got a couple of other some subscribers to the channel, to my channel. So I definitely appreciate that. Do not forget to go into my to my favorites list and check everybody out there and subscribe to all of them, man. Support all of those guys, and especially everybody on the panel. Go support them. Got much love from my people here, and even like I said, and for some of the people of old that's been a part of the show. I don't have everybody that was used to be on the show, but go support. You know what I'm saying? And that's the one thing about it. If it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be shit. So that's the one thing that I hope you guys do is go support everybody. But thank you so much, Streets. That was a surprise, man. Thank you so much. But okay, so let me go ahead and go to you, Lamethius. What do you think? What do you think about these games? Are you hyped for them? Do you think these are necessary? I mean, because some people have been saying like, a little bit too late if you ask me. And then these games are already on back compat. I'm not really looking for the shine and gloss. I think it's just a money grab. Are you in that department, or are you excited about these remakes?
I am stoked.
Okay.
For anybody saying that play all these old retro systems and retro games and all these 2D sprite indies, they bugging. Because it's never too late to have 3 quality games remastered. Favorite games. One of my favorite Sega games ever was Vanquish. First of all, it was very underrated. Very.
Facts.
That game was amazing. You know what I'm saying? That might have been Sega's last great game. Let's just look at the history when the last time they released games. Vanquish has been at the top of the charts for them. You know what I'm saying? Resident Evil 3. Amazing. We're not going to even talk about that game. I already got on the Switch and was happy to have it portable. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to do that. If this is real news and not fake news, I'm all for it. Because if anything they should remake, It's 3 games that people really enjoy. There's never no time frame of when to bring them out. Bring them out. I'm ready. They all gonna be purchased. Facts.
Yes.
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt, no doubt. What is Slick says, wow, it's funny to hear 108 Dragons TV talking before I hear K Mega finish asking his question. Hey, he already knew. He said, get to it. That's what I said. We got to get through this one because we got a lot of stuff to talk about. And I think that 2 or 3 topics is going to be pretty robust. So anyway.
Can I say this before let me throw this in there real quick. Yeah. Shout out to my man Bloody Knuckles streaming real hard and getting these sponsors. Beef jerkies is amazing. We knocking them down right now. Me and my man Six Layer, like, yo, this garlic is on fire. You are being supported by a great brand, my dude.
You got it for free.
Hey, that's what's up.
You got it for free.
I'm eating it and I paid for it.
Show me the
you
receipts.
like the supreme overlord of hate. God damn.
Yeah, show me the receipts.
Okay.
Hey, I'm glad that y'all liking it. That y'all should go check it out. I'm just saying, jerkyxp.com. Use that code Bloody. Get 10% off. Just saying.
Oh, Bloody Jerky. Anyway, 100. What's going on with you, bro? What are you interested in any of these games? Have you played any of them?
Hell no.
Okay.
Hell no. Tired of goddamn remasters, man. I need some new games.
What?
Remember, everybody want no old games. Now we getting they remastered. Yeah, I like Resident Evil 2.
So you in
Resident Evil 3. Like I say, no, with the game, if Capcom want to remaster a Resident Evil game, it need to be Code Veronica. People didn't really play that. They didn't know nothing. That's the original Resident Evil 3.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
That's the one that needs to be remastered. A lot of people don't know nothing about Veronica because it came out on almost close to like dead systems. And then when it came out, nobody didn't care. Remaster that. I don't care about Nemesis. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I ain't trying to be the anti-hero, but I'm just trying to be real. Like,
no, you are the anti-hero. You anti-Christ.
Oh,
man,
shit.
Sorry.
Just keeping it real, like, man.
This is getting pretty morbid. Okay.
Hey, I'm just keeping it real, like, man. This ain't, this. I don't even know why this is a subject. I don't know. Remember when we like backwards compatibility? People talk about people like me. Hey, man. Because we like backwards compatibility. I just give me the backwards compatibility game. I'm fine with it. You know what I'm saying? Give me some 4K assets with it. And I'm fine with it, like they did with Halo Reach. I'm fine. We good.
Okay. All right. Okay. Like I said, we ain't going long on this topic, so you can rant about something else. Live, you good? You done? You snorted enough? You good?
Yeah.
You got some of that? You got plenty of that White House?
Yeah, okay. I think most of it.
You got this off. You bought it off a PlayStation?
Oh, stop it. Stop it.
So,
Oh, man, stop it. There you go. Messy. Anyway, Live, what did you think about these 2 games that's going to be remastered, and then Resident Evil 3 is going to be overhauled just like Resident Evil 2. Are you excited for all 3 of these games, or just one? Where are you at on it?
I'm interested in Resident Evil 3 because I never played it. Okay. The thing was I started it, but I didn't finish it. Because the other games came out around that the same time we got access to it.
Right.
And who was the third one?
Bayonetta.
I have the first one on back and I didn't even.
Gotta pay the bills.
Okay, hold on. Let me go pay the bills. Let me go.
I can do it. I'm saying that right now.
All right, go ahead. Check it out.
Shout out to the man Night Music with that $10 super chat saying RE3 was the best one, hands down. Fire.
Woo, man, appreciate it. Live, what did you think? Do you think that out of all the Resident Evils, do you think Resident Evil 3 was the best?
Man, you know what? Well, one, I haven't played it. I haven't even beaten Code Veronica. I was close to the end, and I think that's something happened with the whole Sega thing. It was around that same time, and I just traded everything in for what was it? Was that was the Dreamcast? Was that Dreamcast?
Yes, Dreamcast.
I'm trying to remember which one.
Dreamcast, GameCube.
One of those.
Oh, okay.
Okay. No, I didn't play it on GameCube. Damn sure didn't. Yeah, so I wanted to trade it in there and get in whatever the next system is. I don't remember which one it was. Whether it was it was probably the Xbox more than likely.
Okay. All right, cool. So pretty much from what we got here, we got half of the crew that's about it. There's other people on the panel that's like, the other half is pretty much like this. So because that means the other half is me, got to be the tie. Vanquished. I'm kind of liking. I'm going to kind of side with 100 on this one. I'm excited for Vanquish 1080p or 1440p, 60 frames per second, and Bayonetta as well. But to me, it's if you already got them on backwards compat, and then we're already going to have new hardware coming, they're already going to be enhanced, and especially if they get Xbox Xbox enhanced or on Scarlet or on the X, then they're already going to be high res anyway. So I think for me, I don't know, man. If the price is right, $15, and I know they'll probably be like 30 maybe, so I'm going to have to skip out on it. Resident Evil 3, I'm sorry, man. I know that you show love to the super chat, but as for me, that was probably my least favorite Resident Evil, next to Resident Evil. And I know people are going to go crazy at me for this. Resident Evil 4 was not my favorite either. I know everybody is like crazy about Resident Evil 4 and they like 3, but those were my two least favorites. I know 4 had a different flair, but I got to it. I played it way too late in the game. I didn't never play it on GameCube when it first came out.
Yeah, that'll make a difference.
I played 5 before, and 5 felt more. It was a newer game. It looked better, and it just seemed like 4 just aged like hell. And so I never really got into 4 like that. So and I have to agree with Veronica was dope. Code Veronica is probably my favorite next to Resident Evil.
Code Veronica is a lot of people's favorite, and it came out on Dreamcast and didn't get the love that it deserved.
Right.
That's what it launched on. It wasn't GameCube.
Right. So what was you?
They got
say?
the remasters.
Oh shit! I forgot. Sir X-Man said that. He said, "I beat Vanquished. And why can't I get Power Stone? Look, man, you got to talk to Capcom about that. Capcom is the one that owns that, and trust me, I think everybody's looking for would love a remaster or a new version of Power Stone. Look, Capcom has all these games that they're trying to feed off on, and their biggest franchise, one of their biggest franchises is Resident Evil. So it's the smart thing to make the money first and then take chances later when you have expendable income. Because just remember, Capcom was in a bad spot just at the beginning of this generation. Like, people were thinking that Xbox or PlayStation was going to acquire them, because look at what happened with Street Fighter and all of that. So so it's good to see Capcom is back on their feet. They did wonders with Monster Hunter, and now with the Resident Evils. Let them make their money, let them put out this stuff, and then hopefully if the demand is strong, they might bring Power Stone back. I hope they would, or at least bring Power Stone characters to a fighter or something. I don't know.
But can I say something?
Go ahead.
Resident Evil 2 is not a remaster. It's a remake. They added themes, they added stories. That's the best game I've ever seen done like that. Usually we get texture up-res and resolution. They started that game from scratch. They added new cutscenes, they added new areas, and improved on the nice base that they already have for that game. If they do that for Resident Evil 3, that would be great. And that's what it looks like they're doing, or sound rumored to be doing.
Yeah, no, it's going to be. I mean, a remake.
Because the game, nobody can say Resident Evil 2 is not about that life, because that game is fire.
No, it's hot. It's just that, like I said, I've lost my passion for like scarier games, and even though Resident Evil isn't like Resident Evil 7, like you know what I'm saying, Resident Evil 7 made me sit down for a minute, man. Made me I said I'm finna stream it in Halloween, and I thought about doing it, and then I started playing it. And I was screaming more than my old lady was, so I said, "No, man, I don't know. That might be bad, but I think I might still do it." I don't.
You need to do it.
Best
do it.
VR game this generation.
Now listen,
Resident Evil 7.
listen, that probably would be one of the
wrong.
best VR games.
That is the best.
Well,
Yep.
you know what? I would definitely not do that shit with VR. That if
VR,
you gonna sell me on a
I
VR
would.
game, it sure won't be Resident Evil 7 because just looking at it on my TV
I got
is
it.
enough for me.
Unlike some of these
Hell
frauds,
no.
I actually own it. And this is a fact. That game is the best game this generation for VR besides Beat Saber.
Nice.
And I'm being for, or maybe the Darth Vader Immortal. That game is awesome too. But I'm talking about straight, full out, full blown game. No funny controls. No zapping yourself in the area. Full console controls in 3D. Crazy graphics. Best game.
All right, cool.
You got to post a dildo.
We ain't being on this topic for 30 minutes, guys. I said let's get the hell off
bad,
of it.
my
We
bad,
good.
my bad.
We out. All right, cool. Anybody wants to keep talking about that? Y'all talk about it in the chat. We out of here. Topic 1 out of here. Now let's get to the second topic. Oh Lord Jesus, Phil Spencer seemed to be getting himself into some funk. Now listen, ladies and gentlemen. Phil Spencer is a human being. He's not God. You know, there's people out here that wants to think that Xbox fans worship this man like that, and we don't. We respect what the man is doing, how he's resurrected Xbox from the brink of being sold off to somebody else. But the fact of it is that the man makes mistakes, and if you want to go back to what we're going to talk about, because we did not get a chance to talk about VR Gate, which we'll talk about here a little bit later, but with those words that people have been clamoring about and been upset about last week, there was another thing that came out this just the other day where he was on Extra Life and he was interviewed and he was talking and he was excited and they were talking about Control and he talked about how much he liked Control and he mentioned that Control was coming to Game Pass. Now, Remedy did make a statement saying that there was no announcement for Control coming to Game Pass, and these are the key words, at this time, but it almost seems like Phil Spencer almost hit Control in the wallet. So I'm going to go to you, 100, get your points about this first. Do you think Phil Spencer should have been scrutinized about this? Did he make a grave mistake to hurt the sales of Control? Or is it already one of those things where it's inevitable that that game was going to come to Game Pass eventually?
I'm going to put it this way. I don't know why people freaking out about it. It ain't no big deal to me. Because it's going to Game Pass. You need to go to Game Pass because nobody bought that shit. I sure didn't buy that shit. So, and I don't see how it's a big thing. And like you say, I'll put this way. I looked at y'all and I was in the chat and I was talking about it. I saw Op talking about it. I'm going to put this way. Phil, if you know Phil don't make mistakes like that. You know what I'm saying? Now, you got to understand some of these, like I say, Remedy, you want to pull the OG, you know what I'm saying, flip out. I don't know what Remedy doing or this and that. But did you also, Remedy didn't understand, may said yes and forgot they may had a deal with PlayStation for all that exclusive content or whatever for that game. You know what I'm saying? But things happen in business all the time. People make deals and they renege. So I don't see the big. I don't know why people flopping out and Phil is a liar and all this and all. You need to go outside because it happened in business all the time. People make verbal agreements and stuff like that, and it didn't. Hey, and like you said, at this time, they needed to be at this time because the PlayStation community didn't buy that damn game. I don't know if you bought it. I didn't buy it.
No, I bought it.
I just that shit in the bargain bin. You know what I'm saying?
Matter of fact, you'll see my gameplay of it. Yeah, no, I bought it.
Yeah,
I go support Remedy, but
yeah, but I mean, people flipping out over it. Like I say, this is the time. Y'all call me the Scrooge, but this is the time for. It ain't no news. They're gonna bring out something and they're gonna ridicule of it. And you see Phil what? You see Phil talk about it. Phil has moved on, talking about this and that. That's how you know that's a great businessman. He's like, all right.
Hey, 108, why you shock that dude like that? You just walk up on that dude and say, hey, who this? And then dude's like, what the hell? Who is this dude? This big ass dude next to me over here just put me on camera.
Nah, that's his boy. That's his boy.
But his boy was like, what the hell?
Hey, don't do the homie Light like that. Shout out to my man Light over there, representing that Bushwick radio.
Nice. Anyway,
What's going on?
go ahead, 100. Go ahead, 100. Finish up.
Yeah, but man, y'all they flipping out. They like I said, they what my man Triple Cup Chuck, cause y'all ways up. He said they over there diving. They diving into stuff. But I don't see no deals. Like I say, it could have been a verbal deal over the phone, wasn't in writing. And feels if there was like, yeah, we're gonna get control. Cause think about it, control needs to be in Game Pass. You know what I'm saying? Cause if it don't go to Game Pass, I ain't purchasing that shit.
Okay.
I ain't trying to fly. I heard I ain't trying to be a flying Xbox. I mean, X-Men around that motherfucker. I mean, I like Quantum Break, and they should have stuck with Quantum Break. And Microsoft did a lot of stuff for Remedy, but Remedy wants to go dance with the devil in the pale of moonlight. So I'm gonna be the Joker and I'll laugh at your ass with my wallet.
That's kind of disrespectful, 100. I gotta say, man, why is it that they can't work with? I mean, they're an independent studio. Why they can't work with anybody else?
Sony ain't tried to mess with them before. All of a sudden,
Well, I mean,
because everybody
maybe
want to
Sony
go do the
recognized their talent.
$100 million con. Oh yeah, we're gonna go multi-plat, but they don't.
Well, they've worked with
think
Sony
about it is
before
they
because
don't know nothing.
they've made other games. They made the Max Payne. They were the first ones to make the Max Payne series. There was other games that
Yeah,
were multi-plat.
but that was long ago. But who backed you up when you wasn't there? Was what? Microsoft. It was Xbox that backed you up, made you who you are from today.
No, say what it is. Say what it is, 100. Who backed you up when that Max Payne money dried up and you wanted to continue to develop?
They took care of you, but you go run over to the evil. I'm gonna call PlayStation the evil 4 letter, like I call it ESPN. I'm calling the evil 4 letter. You went over there because you thought the console base, and you got what you got. Flippy. What's that man? What's the man? What's the old boy named Flippy? You got Lawbreaker. That's what you got. You got Lawbreaker.
Cliffy B. Cliffy B.
Got the Cliffy
Yeah,
B
you got law.
treatment.
They got you got law. You got Lawbreaker, and Phil try to come to your savior because you know what I'm saying he loved what you guys do, and he knows our community loves what you do. We love how you deal with Alan Wake and how you doing with the new shooter. You know what I'm saying? The exclusive shooter that you bringing out that you help with 3 other developers. Come on, man. Like I say, you want
Say,
like I said,
but one, you know what I'm saying, not to interrupt, but I just got to say, there's people that would tell you, even Microsoft themselves, is that look, they lost, they didn't really sell those games very well, even on a 360 that had far more consoles from allegedly, because we don't know how many Xbox Ones are out there, but more consoles than the Xbox One. So they couldn't, and then also Quantum Break. From what Stan say, that it didn't do very well either. So,
but we don't know how to do with Quantum. We don't know what Quantum Break is.
That has a lot bigger base.
They don't buy no games. They red box them.
Okay. I just wanted to.
Let's keep it real.
Because what I'm just saying,
what Noonie Cooney do?
But people will ask
what Noonie Cooney do? Now, if we break down, other than if we break down, they hit, they quote unquote what they quote on hitters, they bangers, what they call down bangers. You know what I'm saying? God of War sold. I say decently because you got 10 million, but you got I'm going off of saying if I was a businessman, I ain't invested in you. You got Horizon Zero Dawn. What else in the remaster of Uncharted? Other than that, what? Ain't nobody even playing them no more. They have no replay value. None of that. So that's what I don't understand. Like Remedy, where your mind going to? You fell for the nostalgia trip? You got hit with the Watchmen? But I'm done talking. I'm done, man. It's let everybody.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Let it out. Let it out. That's fine. Livewire. What is your thoughts about this whole situation with Control? I mean, was Phil Spencer in the wrong for leaking out this information? If it is true, because it's still speculatory. But I'm just saying, if do you think that the game is going to eventually end up on Game Pass? For one, did Phil make a mistake? Did he hurt Remedy's pockets by doing that, by mentioning that too early? If the game is going to come to Game Pass,
I mean, he probably said it early, but I mean, obviously, he didn't feel like him saying it was going to hurt their pockets like that because it's coming to Game Pass, right? One, people say that people on Xbox and PC don't buy games anyway, so I don't understand why anybody be bitching about people waiting for the game to come on Game Pass. How does that affect PlayStation? Ain't they the number one, console brand? They ain't got no motherfucking Game Pass. So what the fuck does that got to do with anything?
Very true. That's a great point. Oh, hold on.
The game is on. Go ahead.
Hold on. I just got to do this. Sir X Man in the chat, he said PS4 keeps GameFly in business. Damn, X Man, you starting early. But go ahead, live. Finish up.
Yeah, because that's just my whole thing. If a game is on in Game Pass, how the fuck does that affect PlayStation sales? They ain't got no Game Pass on there. It doesn't make any sense to me. You can't even if say 40 million other people who own PlayStation also own Xbox or PC. There's still like 60 million people on PlayStation that have the opportunity to buy that game in the PlayStation Store without having Game Pass as an option. Everybody ain't got a PC to run that shit, and best believe you do need a good PC to run that game. Otherwise, your shit will be chugging along because it ain't no different than the other game, Quantum Break. That shit is extremely demanding, even with a 2080. You might be lucky to get that shit in 1440p running 60. Is that shit at 4K? Oh no, that shit ain't happening. Not with the physics. So I think it's a whole lot of shit about nothing, man. I mean, because Game Pass doesn't affect PlayStation. If PlayStation is a leader and they got the 100 million strong and there ain't no Game Pass for God of War and all those other games, so what's the fucking excuse then? Right? Couldn't Control have made up all the money just on PlayStation alone? But they didn't. For whatever reason, they didn't. So like this whole thing about Game Pass affecting sales is a bunch of bullshit. Black Friday been passed. He said that shit after Black Friday, not before. I could definitely understand if he said it before. Maybe, some people on Xbox would have chosen to pull the trigger. But he said it after the fact. So therefore, he didn't affect any kind of sales. Now, it might be on this type of thing where it's like announcing it to Game Pass maybe gets people's feelings rubbed the wrong way who bought it on PlayStation. That might hurt them. Maybe they feel like, damn, I should have got the Xbox because I could have got this game. Now they got Control too. Shit, I should have got an Xbox instead of the PlayStation. Maybe that ruffles some feathers. But other than that, I mean, if you're a PlayStation person, only care about PlayStation, live, breathe, sleep, got a PlayStation pillow and a fucking anime dolly in your bed, whatever the fuck. PlayStation Store ain't got no Game Pass.
Hang on there. Don't call it the anime pills, man. That's my shit.
What's that called? I don't know.
It's called a Dakimura.
There you go. Dakimura. You sleep with the Dakimura, they ain't got no Game Pass over there. I'm just saying.
Okay. All right. Very well said. Very well said. That was a great point. What about you, brother, man? Do you think Phil overstepped his bounds by opening his mouth? Did he mess up Remedy's pockets by interrupting maybe potential sales here in the future with Control?
This is definitely weird.
And do you think it's coming? And do you think Control's coming to Game Pass? That's the main question.
Oh, it's definitely coming to Game Pass. Phil's not a liar for the most part. Well, for what he's not a liar. This would be stupid for him to lie about anyway, because they really enough scrutiny already for him to get something like this. It's not going to help going into next year. As far as his PR fumble, 100 is right. Phil, like as far as something like this, like jumping a gun and not something too early. As far as I can remember, he's never done something like this before. Has he fumbled on PR? Yes, he does talk a lot. I think he should fall back. As far as like not slipping too early, that hasn't necessarily happened before with Phil. So I think possibly what went wrong was that Remedy, like what he said towards the end, because probably hit a little too close to home. You said it didn't reach out people, which we've seen so far, pretty much true. At this point, it going to Game Pass, being not Game Pass will go too early, wouldn't affect it at all because not a lot of people were interested in the game. Not a lot of people on Xbox, not a lot of people at Xbox were interested, and most definitely not a lot of people on PlayStation were interested as well. So there's really, I understand from publisher developer standpoint, and that's something goes to service for cheaper. Wins right now could potentially hurt the sales of it. So if the sales are, since the sales appear to be so low already, I guess the possible damage would be minimal at this point. So I really think Remedy is really in their feelings about this. They're really overreacting. They really could go behind doors and talk to them about it. Hey, we really should have said that. He could came out and apologize for it. Because they didn't come public and say it's not going to give us at this moment. He just kept quiet about it and just left it alone. I really think that was wrong of Remedy to come out with that PR statement going forward. But I think just for now on, those just fall back. Like if you want to do like this little gaming sessions on Mix or whatever, cool. But like as far as PR, leave that to PR people. Leave that to the Xbox Game Pass account, Matt Booty as well, because they've been able to handle that better than him.
Yeah, they might have thought they get a bump in sales through the Game Awards. Maybe that's what they were thinking.
Possible. There's a lot of drones out there who fall for that crap. People praise a game, they'll go out and buy it.
Yeah, maybe that's what the big hoopla is more than anything. It's like, oh, the game, you could have waited to the Game Awards. Maybe that's it. Other than that, I don't really see the issue.
Yeah, I think it's really just them overreacting, being their feelings.
Nice.
They wanted to announce that Game Awards to get a boost in sales. Like it didn't come to, I don't know, but like I just don't see how this could negatively impact them outside of their feelings. But what do y'all think?
Nice. Okay. All right. Cool. I wasn't trying to interrupt you. I was just over here. I read something from E-Names X Cloud. You know what I'm saying? He said, I caught the show live. He said it worked. You know what I'm saying? USPS Christmas Rush. Hey, bro. Thank you for coming and checking us out. I know a lot of people, it's hard. It's a Friday night. You know how this is. You know, a lot of people can't catch the show right at the minute, you know what I'm saying, while we live. But you know what I'm saying, I got, my heart goes out to you, to you UPS workers, man. From what I seen last night. I don't know if you guys seen that on the news where
that was crazy.
These robbers kidnapped a UPS guy.
He got shot by the police.
And the police dumped on everybody in the damn UPS and in the middle of highway traffic. They just lighten shit up. Like, so I'm like,
yo, where was that? That had to be Florida.
Florida. Yeah, I think it was in Florida, man. Florida.
Yo, what is that other? Yo, you live in Florida? Who lives in Florida? What the fuck is in the water out there, bro?
Listen here, this dude talks about how you walk down the street, watch a cobra and a raccoon fight in the middle of the goddamn parking lot. He don't know.
I got some family in Florida, man, and all I can say is that when I read the story about the dude eating that other dude, eating the bum's face, I knew shit was real out there. I was like, I don't think I'm coming to visit. It was sad. I was like, I don't know, bro.
When I go to Disney World, we flying straight into the park.
Yeah, man. Hey, Sleepy Goblin. I think, man, T-virus in that Florida water, man. I don't know. Shit's wild out there, but it's real. But anyway, my condolences out there, man. Thank you for watching the show.
Yo, I feel safer walking through Brownsville at 3:00 in the morning than I would and walking around Florida. I'm just
because you can say you know me, you good.
Oh my goodness!
And I've done it before, man. Brownsville. The thing about Brownsville, and let me probably tell you, for the most part, if you don't fuck with nobody gonna fuck with you, and you know what you look like.
You're not wearing nothing nice.
Now I'll tell you what
with that.
Yeah, well, that's but to be honest, it's the kids that you got to worry about. Them motherfuckers reckless.
That's everywhere. These kids have no remorse. Anyway, let me pull it back. Like I said, we got a lot to talk about tonight. So let me go to you, Bloody. What's your thoughts about this whole situation, man? I mean, you think Phil misspoke? Because I mean, should he fall back like Op said, man? I mean, take a break a little bit? Because I mean, of course, that was a couple of years ago talking about the VR situation, but people are still holding him accountable for that, which is fine. But with this whole situation, is he hurt? Is he going to hurt the relationship with Remedy because he might hurt their pockets or something, or is this nothing to be tripping about whatsoever?
No, honestly, the way that I feel about it is that everyone makes a mistake, and like brought up, Live brought up, is that he's in the know. He knows the business deals that all the subsidiaries are making. He wouldn't say anything if he didn't know that it was either a done deal or it was on the They were just finishing, waiting for the ink to dry and everything like that. So the fact is, it could be something that could have been announced early from him by accident, but it was on a big live stream, because it was the charity live event. But he might have thought that by the time that everyone was seeing it and all that was coming out, that they would have already had that announcement ready to go. So it could have just been an issue of that the timing just wasn't right and it didn't match up, because the announcement could have came right after that, and after he made that statement that it was going to be official. The thing though about it is that with Remedy saying no, there's nothing official, and having to make that statement can either be one of two things: either that it's not happening, but if the head of an entire ecosystem and an entire brand is making that announcement and saying something like that, he wouldn't be speaking out of turn. I was like, so the thing is, they probably are just waiting because of the fact that they have to wait a certain amount of time before they can make that official. And them saying, no, this isn't happening, is because of the fact that they're not ready to make that official announcement. You got to think that they're still trying to make all the sales that they could post Black Friday, because some of those things are still on sale right now through the holidays. Some of them still are reduced prices. Now, everyone's going to hold the VR thing over his head because of the fact that he said that they were making a machine that's capable of VR, but they're saying that he promised it. He was always saying that it has the capability and potential of being VR ready. I was like, and we can say the same thing with everything that's going into Scarlet. It has a VR capability, but it's not there. I was like, so this is just an aspect of him just maybe speaking a little bit too early. Now, I do say that sometimes that is one of those things that they do need to make sure that they have a little bit more of a definitive lockdown, especially when it comes to PR and marketing, because you want to make sure that with those kinds of announcements that is coming from the aspect of the marketing and deals between Xbox and what they're doing with the Game Pass, going through not just Remedy, but specifically through their publisher, who also has a big say in it, which in this case would be 505 Games. So there is needing to be that aspect of that everyone needs to make sure that everyone is in agreement and knows exactly what's going on, or have that time frame of when they can openly speak about it. I do think that there does need to be a little bit more clarification or time frame about those kinds of things, but I think him speaking on it isn't a bad thing because of the fact that he would know if this is happening or if it's not.
Okay, all right.
Hey, Blood. See, Blood, I'm gonna ask you this question, Blood. He's my man plus 50 grand.
All right.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm gonna ask you this question. If me and you made a deal, right? I made a deal, say, hey, you can stay at my house. Did I make you sign a contract?
No.
Did we have a friendship already? We had a bond friendship. We had a bonding agreement.
Exactly.
But saying your bonding agreement was you forgot that you already had a bonding agreement with somebody else. Why are you making it? And we just talking over dinner. I'm like, yeah. You tell me, yeah. I'm gonna be over there, man. But you had a bonding agreement with, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I got to go over here. You know what I'm saying? I don't see that.
I know what you're saying.
I'm believing it was a verbal agreement, and Phil trusted the verbal from them because Remedy ain't never screwed them over. But when PlayStation jumped in and said, hey, we have the marketing rights to that game, how are you going to allow it on Game Pass?
Well, even if they have the marketing rights, they don't have exclusivity rights. So technically, all they have is the ability to market it and say, hey, look, we're the ones who, whenever you see this game, there's always going to have the PlayStation branding next to it.
But if you put it on Game Pass,
but that's what marketing rights are.
Which going to have the access to say, hey, Microsoft actually has the same rights as PlayStation, and they can say, look at our new lineup for this Christmas. We have Control in here. They have it because you allow Control to be in their ecosystem. So that's why I'm thinking that's the beef of the whole situation. Someone stepped in and said, you can't do this because you signed a contract. And then they were like, wait, but that's our homies. But no, you signed a contract with us. So they had to go sit there and they had to go put a public statement. Remedy don't make no Remedy barely even talks. Remedy only tell you I'm gonna do a game when I feel like feeling. When it's done, it's done.
Yeah. No, and like I said, I totally get where you're coming from. But again, what I'm saying is that while they have the marketing rights, right, is that it may not have just been necessarily through Remedy who has a say. Like I said, it's 505 who's publishing. So 505 has a bigger say than even Remedy does
Yeah,
when
but
it comes to that deal.
505 has a great relationship with Xbox, but you think it's a lot of Xbox games, especially on the 360.
Yeah,
From
and that's why I'm
505
saying
games.
that the
What's
deal
that? What's
wouldn't
that
be
great
out of
game?
turn
Nigga, what's
because of
that
that
great
aspect.
game that we play? That hack and slash before it was God of War. What's that great game? What's that great game called?
My man, Briggs. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Marlo Briggs.
Marlo Briggs. That was published what? 505. Prominence Poker. 505. 505 was on a whole lot of games.
Briggs. I forgot my dog's name was Briggs.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not like Microsoft didn't have. I think it was another third party kicked in and said, "No, you can't do that."
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's a possibility, but I'm saying that it could be many different things. But I don't think that he would speak out of turn if he didn't have some sort of know of what's going on. That's where I'm coming down to it.
And I agree with Bloody on that. I mean, they're like,
are y'all finished?
Well, Bloody, yeah, are you finished?
God damn.
Yeah, I'm done. That's what I was trying to say.
Okay, all right. Well, my man was look. I'm giving everybody their time, so you know what I'm saying to let him do this 100. He didn't
he wanted to interject. Say it.
Yeah,
I'm with that.
Like there's nothing wrong with interjecting against what somebody else say. So I mean, it's all good. Go ahead.
He did do it right though. He did do it right.
But he did it right. He did it the right way. He was polite about it. He didn't just come.
And he said he liked Bloody. That's double the knife standards. Good job, 100.
Oh shit. Okay. All right. Go ahead. Go ahead, Lemon. What is your
First
thoughts
of
about
all,
this?
ain't none of us running no multi-billion-dollar company. Anything that this man says is strategic. They have PR people in place. They got situations in place for him to speak. He ain't speaking out of turn. He know what's going on. First of all, how you take money and sales away from a game that flopped?
Yeah,
we forget what Game Pass is for. It's not only for us. It's for the developers' games to be seen by people who might not try them. Did y'all forget the whole reason, the whole meaning of Game Pass? Did we forget the motto, or we just thinking about ourselves?
Nope.
Because that was the motto for the developer.
And if they like it, they're able to buy it.
Remember the stat that came out?
All the DLC at a discount.
Facts. Now you remember the stat that came out? Game Pass has increased the sales of games that's entered Game Pass unlikely to be purchased or played by people that they would not be into. 157%.
Very much so.
That is the reason for Game Pass on the developer side. Control flopped. This is why it shouldn't be a Game of the Year nominee. Because it flopped. It didn't do well. Didn't do well on Xbox. Didn't do well on PlayStation. Now.
And it's on PC.
Oh, yeah, that too. Now, they put it in Game Pass. More people will say, you know what? I'll try it because I'm already a Game Pass member and I downloaded it. It ain't streaming. Let me try it. Maybe I'll like it. Maybe I won't. But that's what Game Pass is about. Everybody in here trying to make some goddamn educated guess while Phil Spencer's speaking and he the smartest man in the room.
Oh,
running
a
multi-billion-dollar business and company.
Trillion.
I'm just talking about the game division. I don't even want to talk about the rest of Microsoft because
he's not wrong.
We're not going to do that. But what I'm saying is, every time this man speak, dudes are critiquing what he's saying. What's your bank account look like? What's your game catalog look like? Because I know on my friends list, that man playing everything. From indie to AAA to AA, cooperative games. I don't see him playing multiplayer, but I see him playing everything on his console. I just said I haven't. Not saying he don't. I said I haven't. But what I'm saying is, come on, people. You can't even do your taxes, but you're trying to criticize what this man say on every given Sunday. Stop. Get your act together. Look in the mirror and get yourself together. Stop critiquing people and putting them at standards you can't hold yourself. That man know what he's doing. The man at Sony know what he's doing. The man that run Apple know what he's doing. Who is you to talk? Oh, he shouldn't be talking about this. Who are you? Get your weight up before you start criticizing people. That man know what he's doing. obviously. And if it's coming to Game Pass, Control goddamn needs it. They didn't do anything. They didn't even outsell Quantum Break with 2 consoles and a PC in the mix.
Hey, can I add something onto what you're saying right now, Lemon?
Why are you saying can? Just say it. Shit.
No, I'm just making sure that I'm able to interject.
No,
I'm just making sure.
There's gonna be a lot of interjecting coming up here in this next topic.
I know, but we're trying to be good about it, right? We're trying to make sure everyone's speaking, not just talking over each other. So you make a good point with what you talk about, how a lot of games get a lot of bonus with everything that's going into Game Pass, right? And how you were talking about how Quantum Break got a boost, even with 2 consoles and PC. Let's also talk about the fact that even newer games are going into Game Pass relatively quickly, especially this year alone. Let's talk about one of the best games that came out that did not do a lot of sales, and that's because of the controversy of its exclusivity, and that's Metro Exodus, right? Metro Exodus was phenomenal and really well done and polished for that series, but that game still went into Game Pass probably about 5 to 6 months after it launched. There's nothing wrong.
I don't even think it was that long.
No, it came out in February, and then it was announced right at E3 that it was going to be going into Game Pass.
Yo, Bloody, let me interject. First of all,
it's your turn. I was just speaking.
Let me interject and stop you right there. That game is like Dark Souls of first-person shooters. That game never been a big seller. Stop.
But
no. Let me finish talking. Let me interject. That game is a fantastic game. This is the best game in the series, but it's still appealing to a certain crowd. The sales that it usually get is what it got. When Dark Souls come out, do we expect to sell 10 million? Hell no. Because only a few people like it. But is it an acclaimed series? Yes, it is. So we just can't talk about sales. We got to look at the game's history. That game is fantastic. It is better than the rest of them in the series. But it's still a niche title. Let's not get crazy here.
Oh, but I know exactly that it's a niche title. It's always been, but it's still
always been.
But
and it went to Game Pass.
I'm saying that it got a boost when it went into Game Pass.
Yes, it did.
All of it. And that's what I'm saying is that that's a game that will not appeal to everyone. But they made it more
hell. You got developers, you got reviewers asking for easy mode these days.
Well, I mean, if you look at Metro, that's why they started introducing Ranger mode, so that way instead of people who want to play survival, they can do it as a first-person shooter, and it's easier. I was like, so they make it a lot easier.
They make it for the novices. I'm not a novice gameplay.
I know you're not a novice, but I'm still saying that game still got a boost when it went into Game Pass.
But there's other gamers out there that plays games on easy and on regular.
Right,
things like
and
that.
good luck to them.
Yeah, so I mean,
but that game is the Dark Soul. No, I'm not.
All right, Bloody
game,
kind of right
series,
about games coming. The Game Pass, like I'm playing what you call it now. I'm playing.
It's a shooter type game, 100. That's what it was based on.
I'm playing Kart Race Drifter. That's the PC game that's coming over to Xbox. They showed that XO. I've been playing the shit out that shit. That shit like Mario Kart on cocaine. You know what I'm saying to me, because I ain't played Mario Kart, and you know what I'm saying. But he has kind of a point where the belt was saying, let me throw myself out there on Game Pass, and if I do take it out, if I decided to take it out, people, if they like it, they're gonna follow it. They're gonna follow it. If it do leave, hey, I got a discount off of it, and I can disperse if it do leave. If you really do like that game.
Okay, Mega, we got to keep the chat clean, man.
What happened? What happened?
Yeah, we got a troll, and he's disrespecting the chat, just in general.
What happened? Who is it? Who's the troll?
The letters.
ABA?
Yeah, he going crazy with these violent words.
Abacab?
Abacab, yeah. Hey, okay, chill out.
Abacab, whoa, that.
Don't get mad at. He must be mad at Chris. Don't be mad. Don't be mad. Just chill out.
Abacab, you're one of our favorites. Calm down, bro. Calm down. I got you.
Yep. Just be respectful. Let them troll. If not, just ignore them. Whatever the case may be.
Oh, you could block them. That 108 did.
Anyway,
He
so,
blocked for
all
life.
right, why is it that we always got to talk about Chris every damn show and everywhere that we go?
I can't see nothing he say. You brought him up. I'm just responding.
Well, I'm just saying. I didn't know you said a troll. The only troll that I really see is him. I mean, Cletus be talking crazy, but Cletus is cool about what he talks about, so I don't trip on it. But
you could be respectful and have an opinion.
Because the old
man, I'm
trolls
looking
are
at.
gone.
Yeah, but I'm looking at the chat myself. Man, we live in America of freedom of speech. Let them talk.
This ain't intermediate, sucker.
Man, they ain't got to let them talk.
Oh my goodness!
It's
Because
freedom
when
of
dudes
speech.
get belligerent on Microsoft streams, don't they cut the chat off? You know why? Because it affects the stream.
Right.
Freedom of speech, man.
You gotta show love to the. You gotta show love to the chat.
You gotta show love. No, you gotta show love to the keyboard warriors. Now we support
just
keyboard
let 'em
warriors.
talk. No, just let them talk, and you don't respond, and they gonna shut up. It's called cerebral mind game. I'm gonna teach you that one day.
They gonna teach you that one day.
Hey, look,
right,
I know how to do it. Stevie Wonder, that sucker.
Oh my goodness! All right.
Can't see nothing.
So is everybody done talking about this?
Yeah, but y'all understand my meaning, though. What I'm saying. We forgot what Game Pass was for. Game Pass was to give games that did not be successful for other people to have a chance to play them. And because remember, everything don't stay in Game Pass. It's not a permanent situation. They leave. You just get a discount for being in Game Pass. Right. That's what it's about. It's to give people eyes on games they probably wouldn't have touched.
There ain't no probably to it. There's a lot of games that a lot of people would not touch because
that's why these devs want their games in there. These devs want their game in there. It's more eyes on their game. Let's not just think about ourselves and think about the market. Facts.
All right, I got you. So, and this is my little small point on this before we get on to the next topic. Listen, Phil. Just like what this is a good segue to talk about VR, get that shit out the way because I know that everybody's really passionate about this and I can't wait to go in. I went in about it, so I'm not going to go full in on that because I'm going to leave that to you guys and let the chat go wild. But Phil has kind of done this, but listen, Phil is like Lemon said, Phil's not stupid. Phil Phil knows what he's doing. And there was something that Mr. Kima said that I agree with, for one, is that it kind of was a knock. And I like this. People been asking Phil to have that killer mentality and to kind of throw that aggression of, you know what I'm saying, hey, Xbox is here. This is what's going on. I rep, you rep. We got love for it. And it's kind of like maybe, hey, look, we're going to get this game on Game Pass, but PlayStation had the marketing rights to it. That's a slap in the face. Like, you paid all this money to get these marketing rights, and the game didn't do well at all because it just proved, just like Tomb Raider, just like a bunch of other games, that PlayStation fans only care about a certain demographic of games. Just like Xbox fans do. Just like PC games, Nintendo fans do. Regardless, that everything is not always gold when it's always to the place that's supposed to be the best or mentioned as the favorite. And that was kind of like, look, I got this good relationship with Remedy. We're gonna support them because obviously you didn't really you got the marketing, you got all this little funny little shit because Phil did not like the whole aspect of getting the marketing rights and then taking something away from the gamer. PlayStation has been all about that life all this generation. Is hey, I want this mode, I want that mode, I want I want this content, I want exclusive this, I want this, that, this. Phil doesn't like that. So he's like, instead of me going ahead and trying to get these marketing deals like that, I got Game Pass. That's my trump card. And it's going to come there. And for the Xbox fans, and there's going to be more people that's going to support that game over on my platform than they did on yours by you spending so much money for the marketing rights. So again, I agree with Mr. Kimo on that, and the fact that I think that Remedy does have a legitimate beef to be upset at Phil. If they are, don't know. But because he opened his mouth so early because of something that was mentioned by Livewire, which was the VGAs, because I was going to mention that if nobody else did, because Control's got all this hype from the VGAs and from the award shows, and there's going to be a lot of people that's going to check that game because there's going to be another sale for all the games that's going to be nominated through all of these award shows. So So yeah, it'll come back and it might be $30 this time instead of $38 like it was on Black Friday, and that could take away from some Xbox gamers because they're like, shit, instead of me going ahead and paying $30 for this game because it's on sale, I might as well just go ahead and wait for Game Pass. So again, and that's not a guarantee that those people that plays it on Game Pass are going to buy the game because it's a single player experience. So that for me is where I feel like Phil made the mistake of jumping it too early. But again, this is a non-fucking issue to where people are taking things way too far and using it against a platform or a console or whatever that they don't like. All right, now let's get to VR. Let's talk about it. I've been waiting for it. I've been waiting to hear what you guys had to say. Even last week on next podcast, shit was wild. It was my first time that I sit there and I think I ever cussed out Bot. It was my first time I ever heard Pred go off like he did last week. So check out the next podcast because it was ignorant. Pred went off like I never heard him go off before. Bot was interrupting me. I told him to shut the fuck up, let me talk. You know what I'm saying? He's over here trying to make his point. I got much love for my boy X-Bot. You know that. We've been doing Next, and we've been doing this shit for a long time together. That's my brother. But he was interrupting me when I'm trying to make a point. Pissed me off. And this whole VR thing, and people that I've talked to and socialized with, it's got me to look at these people like they're strange, because I thought that their thought process behind this whole non-issue, because nobody's talking about it this week. Everybody was talking about it. It was a new hype last week. But nobody's talking about VR, because you know why? For one reason, and one reason only. VR must not have did very well during Black Friday at being $200.
That's why everybody shut the fuck up.
And that's one thing to me is where I'm like, it just still shows that market, even though it still should be available, should never, ever, ever be the main focus, because the main focus with all of us is games.
Yep.
That is what's been the first thing that we talked about from this generation, and what's been the thing that's supposed to be the Achilles heel for Xbox, because they haven't had enough of those quality games. It ain't fucking VR. It ain't fucking Kinect. It ain't the motherfucking the Move. It ain't some kind of lip sync shit. It ain't a Vita. It ain't none of that shit. It's the game.
It ain't lips. It ain't lips.
Well, for me, it's lips. Fuck y'all. Bring me lips, Xbox. Bring me lips. Hey, I found my lips mic in my bag when I was going through this. I said, look at this. Some old lady. But anyway,
shit.
Let me go to Lemetheus on here. You know what I'm saying? So let's get this out the way. Let's talk about this VR, baby. What did you think about last week's craziness about the VR? Did you think people was legitimate to go after Phil Spencer for what he said about the Xbox, the One X? And did you think that it is a problem for Phil Spencer to mention that VR isn't the forefront for the X, you know what I'm saying, for the Scarlet coming up in the future? Lemon. See, this is what happened when you go.
If he won't do it, I'll go off first. Let me pop.
He got that weak ass bladder. I forgot. Anyway,
can I go then?
What? Should I let you go? Yeah, I'll let you go first, because I know you're gonna be long winded, and I know everybody else is gonna be long winded about it too. So go ahead, Bloody. Is this what you said you wanted to go in on? Is this it? Is this your case?
This one and the Black Friday sale bullshit.
Oh, okay, all right, go ahead.
These are the two that I was gonna go for the throats, right?
Right.
All
Go
right.
ahead.
Here's the thing, right?
Get him.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? When Phil said that VR is cool, right? But there's not a market for it. He's speaking because of the fact that is true, right? If you look at VR, the best VR headset out there is the HTC Vive. And you look at Oculus, and of course he has the Samsung Odyssey and everything that they've done. However, those headsets range anywhere from $800 to about $600. You still have to pay for the controllers, and you still have to have a really good PC to run some of those games. But those headsets are less than anywhere from $1 million and under. And VR has existed for the past 4 years. The best-selling VR headset is the PSVR, because it has a cheaper price point at about $300. to get the headset, and the move controllers or the camera, and that only has 4.2 million sold as of March of this year.
No.
Hang on.
No. Let me stop you on this. Now, I heard this from a reliable source that those numbers about 4.5 million was not very accurate. It's more than that. It's not substantially more. It's not substantially more, but it is more than the 4.5 million.
4.9. Let's go.
Okay, so it's about 4.9, but that makes sense if you look at
4.7. Look, can we get a 4.7?
I'll even say, look, as of right now, I'll even say that's at 5 million. I'll even give it a bump, right?
Okay.
But even at 5 million units, after 4 years, and after 100 million consoles out there, that is not a wide demanded market to cause or want to go out and say, oh, VR is absolutely where we're going to put our money. That is absolutely the market that we need to know. No, that is not. You know why? Because even the Kinect, which was one of the most successful peripherals, had 24 million sold throughout the life cycle of the 360. When it ended and was discontinued back in 2015, it was at 32 million and still considered a failure. So you're telling me 5 million headsets after 4 years compared to 32 million is a success? No, you're fucking full of bullshit. All right. You don't know the market because that is not where the trends are. It is still too much into its infancy to even be reliable or to make any sort of good money to put into that investment for its future. And you talk about PSVR, they're still using age-old equipment. They're still using a camera that's just been updated form factor from what they had in the PS3. They're still using the same PS Move controllers from the PS3. They're not updated. They're not better. They're not anything. They are cheap down hardware to minimize the price point. And then you still have to have the PS Pro, the PS4 Pro, to really utilize the PSVR. You can use it on the Slim, but my God, is it going to be horrible? You need the Pro to do it. So you still need to get additional hardware to run it, to even have anything that's good of an experience. So these people are claiming that VR is the future and that everyone needs to go in VR, and they're going to call out Phil for not having VR. Why is it that only 5% of your entire ecosystem bought into it? Why is it only 5% after 4 years? That is not the future. It is nothing but a straight up gimmick. It's not going to be supported. It is not useful. It is not the future. Maybe in a few years, it can be better, but it's still not going to be a big thing. There's nothing out there that says, oh, you need to go get a PSVR headset. Like Lemon mentioned, Resident Evil 7 is one of the best VR experiences on the PlayStation to be able to do that. Other than that, the biggest selling game is Beat Saber, and that's on Oculus, that's on the HTC Vive, and that's on PSVR. That's one of the most popular VR games, besides one of the free games that's on Valve, which is VR Chat. And people all know what's going on in VR Chat because everyone's being fucking stupid and ridiculous and that shit. But that's not a game. That's the only thing that's even enticing about VR, right? Is you have 3 games, and you can get those on any platform. Why is there still no killer software to make everyone want to go out and buy a VR headset? There isn't one because it's not there. So anyone who's defending or trying to say that VR is the future and is calling out bullshit on Phil for not supporting VR, no. There's nothing in the market right now that is making everyone say, oh yeah, VR is where you need to go. Like King David said, everyone thought that 3D TVs were going to be the future. No, they were not.
They sure did.
3D TVs failed faster than anything. VR is not going to be anywhere that it needs to be as a success.
Hey, Bloody, I can't agree with you on your last comment because I played VR at E3 and I bought an Oculus Quest and I really enjoy it. Game.
We have a denier here. We have a believer into the VR.
I believe in VR, but I don't believe that it needs to be on the Scarlet.
Okay, all right.
It's to me damn option.
All right,
but
let Bloody finish, and then I'll go straight to you, 100. And if y'all have a rebuttal, y'all go ahaad and do y'all shit. But I'm just saying, go ahead, Bloody, finish up, because I know you was passionate about this. You really wanted to get in, and I know you wasn't done yet. Go ahead.
I'm just saying that you cannot tell me that 5 million, which is the best-selling, right? The best-selling VR headset after 4 years, that is any reason to say that VR should be continued to be invested into, or make it the primary aspect of it. Because if you look at all the VR headsets and all the last known charts and sales, at most it totals up to about 7 million, maybe 8. That is not worthwhile to invest into. When you look across all of the ecosystems, from PSVR to Oculus to HTC Vive and everything else.
Okay. All right. 100. Go ahead. Make your rebuttal. Explain
I'm
to
gonna
us
put this
why VR should be an essential piece towards.
No, I don't think it's essential.
Okay, so
I don't think it should be on the Scarlet, but I don't mind that.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, no, I don't mind that Phil saying, "Hey, we're not concentrated," because Microsoft was never concentrating on VR in the first place, on AR. But VR, it has a place in the ecosystem. I didn't think so. I had to. Megatron and 108 had me sitting in the line for 2.5 hours, sipping on a drink that was, you know what I'm saying, and had more ice than liquor in it. You know what I'm saying? And I played Vader. Like you say, a killer game. Vader made me go spend $400 on an Oculus Quest. Now, I can upgrade my Oculus Quest. If I do hook it up to my PC, I can play PC games on it. Just plug it into the USB port. I can play with it. But what thing about it is, everybody, like you said, you had a great point, Bloody. Nobody want to buy all these things. But the Quest is, I only hook up to to charge it. To really, I can go buy a game. When you hook your Quest up, you use your cell phone app. They made it easy. You know what I'm saying? You sitting there and you having VR games, but VR is not for everybody, because everybody don't want nothing on their head, on their face like that. You're not Bloody. You game for about 12 hours a day sometimes. You're not gaming 12 hours a day on no damn VR.
Nope.
And it messes with your head. I have played poker for about 4 or 5 hours. I love playing poker on VR because I feel like I'm at the table. You know what I'm saying? And I talk to people like I talk to people on Xbox Live. But when I'm on this for a long time, I feel like reality didn't pass me by. Like my eyes is messed up. I ain't saying I'm getting old, but
you getting old.
It's get the tunnel vision. I got the tunnel vision. Like I need to get back in VR. I'm like, I got caught up in the Matrix. But
I told you that motherfucker want to be the lawnmower man.
Yeah, that's what he talking about. That bad boy for a whole week, and I was an thing about it. What the Quest is so cool. With it is, I could be in an Xbox party, but I could play the game at the same time. Because the only thing is, you can just put your headsets right on top of it, or plug them in, so I can still deal with two ecosystems. So, but it's getting way better. Like I say, Beast Saber is cool. Creed is real good. You know what I'm saying? Creed is like how can I say? What's that? Mike Tyson Punch Out on steroids.
But isn't Creed on PlayStation?
Yeah, Creed is.
Yeah, but you don't get the same experience what you get off the Quest. The Quest give you 1440p in both eyes.
Oh, yeah.
You don't need nothing. You don't need to hook up to nothing. You need a PlayStation to hook up and get some type of graphics like that. You can't take your PlayStation VR everywhere. You got to go to your friend's house. Everybody don't have a pro. I ain't gonna say his name, PR. You don't have a pro. You know what I'm saying? We got to let him go. But it's crazy. Like it's a good thing, but you know what? I'll put it this way. It's not for everyone. Like Mega May don't like it. You know what I'm saying? I had people say, like Chuck or other people say, yeah, you will get motion sickness, especially for the first couple of times. Like I was playing Vader and I looked up and I saw the lava and I felt like, and I'm standing straight up and it felt like I was like, I don't want to fall. You know? And thing about it, it's just like just like Xbox, you can do other things with it. You know what I'm saying? I watch movies in 180 screens. Like I said, I watched The Watchmen and I saw some other stuff and I wanted to kill myself the other night watching it. But it's the experience, but everybody, it's not a peripheral to have on, and you're doing a 6 or 8 hour game. I like people say, yeah, the Resident Evil. You're not playing Resident Evil for no 10 hours. You can't do it. because our minds and we're not trained for it. We're not trained for it, but it's good. I'm not hating on it. And people don't understand. Microsoft has did wonderful things. Microsoft can make a software patch, and you can put your Oculus up, something that you already got, a peripheral that you already have, and say, hey, you know what's compatible? It's compatible. What Phil said, we're not worrying about that right now. And thing about it is the VR market is flooded. It is flooded. You can get, you got Chinese headsets, Japanese headsets, you can get for cheap. You can actually go on, don't ask me how do I know, I ain't gonna say how I know, but you can go sign up to the porno website and they give you free VR. They'll give you a VR headset that they made. So it's like, man,
that's what I'm saying though, is that even with some of those headsets being given out, look at all you have Acer, you have Asus, you have Lenovo, all making headsets. They have headsets being made with their partners, but even then, there's still just no reason for them to like, yeah, you can go ahead and have the option, but there's no reason to really invest into it, especially do it themselves when there's not a market to support it. And then everyone was complaining about HoloLens. HoloLens exists, like King David said. You can go get that right now. $4,000 if you want to put up your bread and go get it, but it's just not ready for consumer use. HoloLens is used in many other ways right now, and there are lots of knockoff headsets or cheaper headsets to get into. But again, there's just no reason that will push you to go out there and get it. There's nothing that absolutely is saying, oh, VR is absolutely the shit. Go get this right now. This is why you need to get it.
You got to understand, everybody doesn't like the word people don't. I like I said, I was with Megan. Like, man, I ain't trying to get no eye herpes. Megan, when I came back to playing, I said I'm gonna get this bad boy.
Yeah, you said that. I was like, what?
I said I'm gonna grab this bad boy. I was with him.
You wigged out, and that's the one thing maybe for me that I can look at it, and then I'm gonna go to op next. I'll go to Livewire next, and then I'll go to op afterwards. Is for me, I have never tried one, never, and I've given my reasons why. I don't hate the peripheral. I just feel that people take too much and bring and try to add to their console war activity to make it to throw slander at a boss that is only looking out for what people have asked him to do first. If people was all about VR would have been the first thing that was mentioned to Phil when it came to the point to where gamers was what they demanded. But it wasn't VR, it was games. And that to me is why I look at this as just an embarrassment from some people from the gaming community that use this as leverage to try, and even for their subs and for everything else, to try to use this as propaganda pieces to say that Phil Spencer isn't thinking about the other gamers. When you yourself know that some of the people, if not most of the people that you talk to and that associated, that jumped on that soapbox, didn't buy that damn VR, that PlayStation VR or the Oculus or the Vive or anything else. They just wanted to jump on the bandwagon because it sounded good, because they wanted to attack Phil Spencer. And to me, that was disgraceful, because if they did this to Yoshida, if the roles were reversed, I would have been representing Yoshida at the time when he was in charge. And to whoever is that's in charge, I can't think of that man's name that's in charge, because PlayStation's gone through so many fucking people now. Whoever's in charge now, I would be supporting him for what he wanted to give to the fans first, because games were the first thing that they wanted. So stop with that bullshit with the VR. Get off of it. Get off their nuts, man. That's ridiculous. I think it's stupid. Stupid. Go ahead, Live. Say what you gotta say, man.
Yeah, so I kind of look at it both ways.
I got yeah. It was,
you know what I mean? I'll say this.
I got to get my. I'm trying to watch the Lakers game.
What you doing, 100? Who you talking to?
That's all now.
100. Oh, he must be talking to somebody in the house.
Yeah. Anyway, so I look at it both ways, man. VR was something that I don't know if they necessarily promised, but they said that it would come into.
I don't know. They don't Sportsnet. Our Sportsnet is crazy. They don't give us no if you ain't got a
He thinks
spectrum,
he mute.
100. I gotta find him. I gotta find how to mute his ass. Go
You
ahead.
got it?
Yeah, I
Oh.
think I got it that time.
But anyway, like I was saying, I can see it both ways. You have VR where they kind of came out and said it was it might be a thing of the X. They turned around and said they weren't going to do it. All right, people they accepted it and got over it. But I think some people that are because the only people crying about this are VR enthusiasts. I don't think anybody who's not a VR enthusiast gives a shit. I can't see the point. Like, think about it this way. I mean, most people that didn't really aren't huge Nintendo fans, they didn't care that the Wii U wasn't like this super powered console. They didn't give a shit. And even if it was, they might still not give a shit because they don't care for those type of games. So, I mean, it's really only enthusiasts that are upset about this. But I just don't really get it because VR hasn't really proven itself yet. It's getting there, but the investment right now is just not. To me, if they sold more, I mean, I think what is it? I think in total, what they sold like maybe 10 million. And that's like all of them. That's crazy, bro. The Kinect did like damn near 40 by itself.
Yeah, true.
It was a failure. So it's like, or it was a failure after the fact,
Well, the 2.0 was the failure. The 360 was a phenomenon at the time.
Yeah, but it's just to say, like, man, I don't know, man. I think people are just into their feelings, and right now, for whatever reason, people get triggered by Phil. Phil say anything, people get triggered. To be honest, I don't know what they want from him. They want him to lie. I guess they wanted to come in and be like, baby, you fine as hell. She like 700 pounds, but you know what? She fine as hell. You look as good as you did when I first met you. Bitch, no. It ain't the truth. Why are we going to sit here and lie to people? Like, just tell them, be honest. Look, it ain't what we thought it was. We thought it was going to be this. And yes, it has some experience that are unique and interesting. But at the end of the day, is that going to be something that's going to keep people going to it? Like having a good game once a year, if that's not enough, because we're talking about one game. We're not talking about, one exclusive. We're talking about one game. Just one game that's good enough to be like, yo, this is worth coming to. Like our consoles, whether or not you're a fan of Xbox's exclusives or not, they have at least 8 to 10 games every year that make you turn on the box. If you're a gamer, they don't got to be exclusive. You could just play multi-plats and just be straight 8 games. So, but unfortunately, VR doesn't have that. A lot of the games are very, like it just mild experiences. I mean, again, they have some good games, but there's just far and in between. And then once you get VR today and play those 5 experiences that are currently out there, that shit is on the shelf. I mean, unless you got a serious one, I don't know if on the PlayStation one, I don't think you can watch movies and shit like that, or at least you might not want to because of the quality of it. So I think you're kind of just limited to PC when it comes to that. But it's like, you're watching. But yeah, man, I don't know, man. VR. To be honest, I like Phil just telling the truth. Just be honest. That's what gamers want. You know what I mean? I don't think gamers want to be lied to. I think gamers that are in their feelings want to be lied to. Like, just be honest. Like, if it ain't what it is that you think, you don't think it is worth the investment at this moment, just be honest. That's what he said. Focus is games, not another peripheral. Just be honest. I'm cool with that.
No, I totally agree with that. Like, I mean, listen, for anybody out there that thinks that I'm trying to defend Phil Spencer about something he said over 2 years ago, which in business, things change, and probably the forefront because everybody was talking about VR at that time, that they used that as a talking point to attract gamers to the X. That may have been something that was a strategy for them at the time. But then once they seen the reality that, hey, it's not the business, then, you know, I mean, what else could you do? I mean, what people are holding fuel to the fire for is something that was made over 2 years ago. Like, come on, man. I've seen and heard plenty of people's receipts being played that said stuff prior. Some of your favorite podcasters, some of your favorite YouTubers or streamers. We see shit all the time where if there's somebody that don't like you, they will post your receipts, and then what will happen then? So again, you know, I'm just saying, if you ain't going to hold everybody accountable, then you shouldn't hold this man accountable to that level of scrutiny. You should just say he messed up, it was a mistake, but this wasn't something that was blasphemous. It was just, at the time, it looked like VR may have been potentially something that would have blown up, but it just didn't. Op, what do you think about this, man?
Like, this is ridiculous on so many levels. Yes, I meant what I said in the beginning. Never played VR, so I don't care about it. So at the end of the day, but going back to what Phil said a couple years ago, yes, he was talking VR at E3. Yes, Bethesda came out there and said they want to put, I don't remember the specifics, but they're talking about Fallout VR on Xbox One X. Yes, they backtrack on it. Here's the thing: Xbox and Apple backtracked on it for a legitimate as reason. And the reason was it was not worth the investment. Let's talk about another point. People saying that he's denying as an option. Let's dissect that for a little bit. VR is a peripheral. Play games that you cannot play in your console without the peripheral. So you have to shell out hundreds of dollars, play a small subsection of games you can't play without it. Well, it comes to the exit station, costs all that crap. It comes with the peripheral. Is that an option or is that a barrier to entry at that point? That's more like a barrier to entry to me at that point. So the argument of it being an option that would be denied seems to feel contradictory because it seems more of like a hassle to have this quote unquote option and it's just to be without it. So as far as that argument, I don't agree with it at all. As far as the whole VR fiasco and whatnot, this is really something Xbox we don't need at this point in time. I don't know. May come in the future, possible. This really isn't a priority for us. Because most people who are claiming for saying we should have it are contradicting themselves. Because for years they've been getting on Xbox saying they're diverting resources from the games into what controllers, in addition consoles and other stuff. But you're mad, Phil, you're not investing enough resources into making first-party games. You want them to make hardware. You want to make a hardware for peripheral. The more exclusive games not going to be able to play. Like, oh, please make it make sense. Like, this is ridiculous. You're just contradicting yourself. They're capitalizing their own arguments. They don't even realize it at this point. Like, it's just stupid. Like, I get it. You might be an advocate for VR. You conveniently became an advocate after 2016. Quote-unquote blew for Sony, but that's been a massive failure for them. But, like, at this point in time, it's not worth the hassle. It's not worth the investment, in my opinion. Not trying to be a corporate slave. Like, it does nothing for us outside talking points. Console war. Even if they were to get it sooner or later, they're going to downplay it. Like everything else is Xbox related. It really means to no end. That's just fucking ridiculous. I believe people were trying to use the there's an article saying that Sony made $2 billion revenue off of VR. It's true. Made close to that, around that much money off of VR. But to be honest, the article later on stated that most of the money went towards the distributors, manufacturers of VR products, and developers who made the games as well. Sony made close to little profit off of the VR revenue. Also applies for gaming in general, consoles. Because they say in the past, the consoles they sell make little no money off of it. It's the software. Look at it this way, VR make even less money off of it. Sony and other publishers make even less money off of it as well, because the money's been divided amongst different people. So right now, the market is just too niche for VR. It's cool that they're actually able to establish a market. Right now, the size of it doesn't really justify existence of VR at this point in time. Maybe later on, when we get streamlined, it's more affordable, it could probably be more profitable for developers and publishers as well. Right now, it's not really a viable option for us right now, and it's really not going to set Xbox, not going to set them apart from the competition at this point. Because right now, Nintendo, yes, they're inferior hardware, they're doing just fine with modern, today modern hardware for the most part. I mean, we do have VR, but let's be honest, it hasn't really been that big of a selling point. People get their console anyway. The majority of the population hasn't even touched it yet at this point. That really does go a long way saying how much actually value the worth of VR over in Sony camp. So overall, it's not worth it. I don't think it's worth the investment right now. Possibly in the future, but right now I really just don't care about it.
Right? No, I mean, I agree. Like, the investment for what PlayStation did, and look, it was smart for PlayStation to jump on it first because really, I've said this on Next Podcast last Saturday, was that it was smart because PlayStation has kind of been behind on everything else, and even though they've done the streaming first, they went half-ass with the streaming. The streaming didn't. That's why so many people didn't believe in xCloud, because PlayStation Now and PlayStation streaming just didn't. You know, it was like, no, people. This is way away from even being a factor for anybody to want to utilize or to have. So when PlayStation did do these things with the streaming, then they kind of half-assed. The pricing was wrong, and it kind of fizzled away over there. Xbox implemented it, did it better. xCloud is a beast. People are now seeing what this is. Now PlayStation wants to try to revitalize themselves, and then what Xbox doing with Game Pass, it's a whole nother feature. Now with the PlayStation VR, you look at it from that standpoint to where they're first to doing it on the consoles. I can't say the first. Nintendo was the first because Nintendo did it way back in the 90s with that VR machine, and it flopped hard. But PlayStation did try to come with something that was more modern age. But then you had what PC was doing, and PCs, the PC versions of them are so much better than what Xbox. Than what PlayStation is doing, because the consoles isn't up to par to give you that true experience, like 100 was saying. So again, it's just not doing. It just isn't that flavor for that fan base. Not saying that PlayStation should give up on it, because they're not, but they've spent well over $2 billion, and it seemed like they may have maybe broke even then they've gotten a profit. That's how I look at it. But again, I think it's smart for Microsoft to look at it. I don't know. Lemon, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I came to you first. You was gone.
I'm sorry. No. You know I got company. My bad.
Oh, okay. I said you had that weak ass bladder, so I didn't know. So, all right, man, give me your thoughts about the whole VR thing, and then we can move on to the next topic.
Well, it's gonna be short and quick. VR is a niche situation. The top selling VR on the planet is PlayStation with over 4 million sold. But they still don't have a killer title to draw people in. It's just the facts. They don't have that one title that people look at and say, I need VR for this. Even though Resident Evil is the total complete pack of a game for VR, not shortcomings, not short add-ons like the VR for the last Call of Duty, like the VR for Final Fantasy 15. It's a full-fledged game, and the developers and these VR headset makers are all in their board meetings figuring out what can we make to pull the crowd in. There isn't one title. Beat Saber is an awesome game. Vader Immortal is an awesome game. And I'm gonna tell you right now, Beat Saber is like Dance Central on steroids. Is it fun? Yes. Is it gorgeous? Yes. Is it a great experience? Yes. Does it wear your behind out? Yes. But it is a great title. Vader Immortal. The sound effects alone with the visuals is amazing. Like I said, shout out to my boy 100. He played it. We sat on that long damn line for almost 3 hours. He left there saying, I'm buying that. I'm buying this. I'm looking at him like, yo, calm down. He's like, nah, I ain't never had no experience like that. 100 don't get you excited for too many things. So
No.
y'all can definitely bring something different. But, Phil saying what he said about VR, I agree. What makes more money, VR or Game Pass?
Game Pass. Game Pass
Oh,
make more money.
facts.
Yeah,
Facts.
no doubt.
If they say we ain't focused on VR right now, means right now.
Right
That
now.
don't mean later.
Right.
I think sometimes when people hear some of these messages, they hear what the hell they want to hear. He didn't say we're not doing no VR ever. He said we're not focusing on it. And technically, with all these Xbox fans out there that be crying, you should want more AAA titles and better first-party titles than VR.
Thank you.
Because you're out here screaming for one thing. They're not going to give you everything. They got to leave something for the sequel. It's like a movie. You would like them to do more in that movie, but you got to leave something for the sequel. So they're out here giving you what you asked for. You wanted more first-party titles. They did that. They wanted to broaden their horizons outside their big three. They did that. Now I hear Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. First of all, when you heard that message coming out of Obsidian, they said we have a small tactical team to make this game. The other squad is working on something bigger. Nobody heard the other squad is working on something bigger. They heard, they giving us Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Look at what they're doing. So you think all 300 developers is working on Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. You're a fool. Anyway, Microsoft need to focus on their mainstream title. They need to keep hitting you with bangers like they said they want to hit you with 2 to 3 bangers a year.
I thought it was 2
I'm with
to
that.
4.
I'm with that. I don't hear nobody begging for VR games that currently own it. You don't hear me saying, yeah, we need a VR Rainbow Six. You don't hear me saying that. You don't hear nobody ask.
Lemon, didn't we play Iron Man PSVR back at Comic-Con and it was
Bloody, we're not gonna do that. I don't want to bring up. I don't want to give nothing bad press. I'm just not buying it. I'm not buying it.
I'm just not buying it. Huh?
I'm just not buying it.
I'm just putting out that
I try to stay away from the negative situations in life because my life is good. But yeah, I'm not buying that.
Lemon, I got a quick question. I got a quick question for Lemon.
What up, Live?
Think about this for VR. What is a game that people want for VR?
You know
I
what?
want House of the Dead. They do House of the Dead VR. I'll buy it. Now, hold on. I see my boy in here, and we had some words on Twitter. I see Supersonic and Station in here, right? And we had words back and forth because I
want cloud gaming. I was like, I want that on my phone.
And he apologized and everything, and he didn't have to apologize. I understand he's passionate about it. He was doing the whole Yoshida thing on the crap and Mood Show and all that shit, whatever. But it was funny, all that. But see, when people come after me about it, I look at it as I never said that VR was bad. I never said that it was trash. I just said that it's just something that I'm not like fully engaged in. Now, when you say that Live, I say the House of the Dead, because they're talking about they're doing a House of a Dead game, and I love House of the Dead. That's one of my favorite, that's to me, and I said this before years ago. I said that's the perfect game to get me on. You would think it would be Forza and all that because I love racers, but it's House of the Dead that would get me on to make me try out a VR for the first time. And Sonic Station showed me a game that it was an app where you're walking around in the arcade and all that, right? And it looked really dope. I liked this video and all that shit. Looked really cool. But then, like, he played certain different games, and then he played one game. I watched it thoroughly. And then there was one game, and he had some lag, and he got the fuck out. He's like, I don't want to show people to show this little lag. And that's those type of things. And that happens with all types of games. It's no big deal. But it still isn't, as much as I think as cool as that is, and it gives you that vibe, it still isn't something that I want to invest, because now the price is back up, $300 for, when I I could buy
the
like
price of your console.
I could buy 6 games off of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10
Right.
games, and I'm like, the price has to be, and then and the quality of it is still not up to par. And I am not a full-fledged PC gamer. You know what I'm saying? I have a gaming PC. Some of the gameplay that you see, sometimes I'll do it on my PC. You'll see gameplay games. Matter of fact, I think there's a game that I'll show at the end of this because this is my gameplay right here, where I'm playing Bright Memory. That's a PC game, but I'm more of a console gamer. And if the quality isn't up to par, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? What's the fucking point of me getting it yet? And that's all I'm saying from that standpoint. What was you going to say, Live? I'm sorry.
No, damn.
You just asked me a
I
question.
know I'm long. I'm sorry.
No, I was. It was about the game. It wasn't so much what I was saying as far as like what the name of the franchise you want as VR. My question is, what type of game are people asking for?
Okay.
Do people even know what type of game they're looking for?
It's like saying what type of first-party games you want. You can't really say because everything is a niche. Let me tell you something. If you're a Resident Evil fan and you own a PlayStation, you should have the VR headset. And Resident Evil did well on PlayStation, did well on Xbox, did well on PC, right?
Mm-hmm.
You should have an PlayStation headset because the best experience on Resident Evil 7 is PlayStation VR. Period.
Right.
You want to be scared out your brains? You want to feel like you in there with that psychotic family? You play that in VR. If that game did not pull people in the VR, and I'm going to tell you why it didn't pull people in the VR, because the goddamn headset costs what your console costs.
Yeah.
Everybody pretend like they balling, but they not.
Right.
Yeah. I'm going to get this. Then Christmas time coming, 7 games dropping. They say, you know what? I got to pay my bills, and I only can get 2.
You know what?
But Lemon,
VR
put
is
this
still
way. Hey, Lemon,
expensive.
It's certain. I'll put this way. People like Super Shot, right?
Mhm.
I love Super Shot on Oculus before I don't want to play Super Shot on
But you said
console.
Oculus.
hot,
We're talking
hot,
about more
super
about
hot.
the PlayStation VR.
Well, I think it's on PlayStation VR.
Well,
They got
I'm
this.
sure
Yeah, it is. It is.
I'm sure it is, but I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
but my thing is, I'd rather play that in VR than play it on console.
No, he's
Okay,
right.
because-
The game is dope in VR. He's right.
Okay, so that's 100. That's the question right there. That's the question because Supersonic, he's made this point and he said that he feels betrayed by Xbox. There's other people that said they feel betrayed because of what he said 2 years ago. Over 2 years ago about when he talked about the X. But
You just-
He didn't say the Scarlet wasn't VR ready. They got to stop making these stores with Benny Brain.
I know, but everybody was assuming that it would be available by now, and then when they said that the Scarlet isn't ready, I mean, it's not their focus right now. They feel like it's not. Either they feel like it's not going to come, or they feel like they got lied to because of the fact that that it wasn't on the X already.
Well, you know
and
what? If your
therefore
ass hurt, buy a PlayStation. You have options.
Well,
Do what I do.
Again, true. But again, like the one thing, like you have to be objective here. But 100,
I am.
No. I know you are. But I'm saying to 100's though point. He made this point, and I'm gonna ask him this. You said you rather play it on that Oculus that you had than even thinking about ever buying the PlayStation VR, and it seemed and because the experience is a lot better. Why is it that Xbox can't just sit back and wait for a minute instead of just going gung-ho like
I never said that. No, I'd rather than the wait. It ain't the thing
Okay.
about it. This thing is a
Okay.
peripheral. Most
Okay.
peripherals do not sell, even with the steering wheels,
Right.
even with a Elite controller or a Scuff controller. They don't sell millions of millions
Well,
because
that-
everybody don't want it.
That Elite series did though.
Yeah, but I'm saying like everybody don't. Even I put this way, I was tripping last night before I did a Aurora Vibration podcast. I said, "I'm gonna buy an Xbox One so you can go online." Everybody and they saw that price. Like, I ain't paying no $89 for that shit. I said, "I'm gonna do it."
Nothing though. They got way other
I
stuff.
said, "I'm gonna get it just to do it, just to clown." But
Get what?
you know,
Get what?
it's think about it. It's not for everyone, and everyone can't generalize it as for everyone.
No, No.
Just
VR
like
is not
everybody
for
don't like to wear glasses. Some
You
people
know-
like to wear contacts. I can't
Right.
wear contacts. I need to wear glasses.
It's not even that 100. How many times you remember when we were kids and they used to sell those park passes for Great Adventures, and everybody be like, "Yo, I'm gonna get park pass. I'm gonna go every weekend." You
Yep.
go
Yep.
maybe twice,
Yep.
maybe
Yep.
twice.
I'm one of them. I'm one of them.
I
buying
got
season
VR,
passes.
but how many times I play VR during the week?
Quick.
Out of 7 days, it's probably 3 to 4.
Right. But like I
don't play
said,
every day.
it's
I
it's
put
like
it
a
on the
niche.
first time this week.
But but
It's
hold
like a
on.
niche title,
But-
man.
No,
I love
but
Dark
hold on,
Souls,
but hold on,
and it's for everybody.
Supersonic Station. You said nobody asked for keyboard and mouse on the Xbox, but I guarantee you, there's more players that would be playing on keyboard and mouse on the Xbox than they would be buying VR headsets.
And
Well,
people
I'll
are
put it
asking.
this way:
people
the
are
keyboard and
I would
mouse
love to
thing
do a
is
program with that.
that
Let
keyboard and
people
mouse
ask
is
for
not
keyboard
for
and
shooters.
mouse.
That
Or
keyboard and
is
mouse
it
is
saying
for
people
them to
ask for
sell
that?
RTSs
People
on
are
that
asking.
system.
which is very
Keyboard and
small.
mouse. Yes, they are.
And yeah, but when it comes to keyboard and mouse, there's a lot more because they're trying to unite their ecosystem, right? That allows them to bring more games, console games over to PC, and hopefully bring PC over to console. So that's giving them the ability to have it built in. And you mentioned about the high-end controllers, right? Well, the thing is, it's controllers. Everyone's going to need controllers. Those controllers are made for that select group of people, but not everyone wants to buy a $200 controller. That's
You know what,
what those are. But the thing
know what,
is,
buddy?
it's still a controller. That's still a necessity. VR is one of those things that is not going to really sell. And why are they going to put money into it to bring it if it's not going to put anything into?
I know what we need to do,
Easy
buddy.
to put money into because that's something that's made for that hardcore, but it will be something that people use.
Let me say something for the record. I know what we need to do. We need to just sit around. Every time one of these companies say something, we should just sit around and just complain who don't want it. Because that's what the hell y'all be doing. Y'all sit around and complain about every goddamn thing. How do you know what people want? People don't want Game Pass. Game Pass making more than VR. People don't want VR games, but Resident Evil did well. People don't want to play sport games, but sport games is one of the top selling series. People don't want to play first person shooters, but people keep making them. Come on, people. Stop. When we gonna stop complaining about everything? How about you got options? This is a world of options. And if the option is there and you want to be involved, you make that purchase. Let people purchase what they want and be happy for people enjoying the games how they want to play them. How are we going to sit here and complain about everything somebody do or everything somebody say?
Obviously,
You're never going to be satisfied with anything
Right.
somebody do if you sit around and you think you some goddamn Siskel and Ebert sitting in your living room complaining about every single title.
Right.
Don't buy it. Then nobody with
No.
a gun at a border keeping you in the country.
Yeah, I mean,
It just is what it is.
look, if y'all really that hyped for some kind of virtual reality, there is the
There's options.
no, there's many options, and then you got the HoloLens out there. It's $4,000. Go
Oh,
get
no,
it.
no. Don't do that.
No, do that.
You done tapped them
You're
out.
right,
You done
you're
tapped
right.
them out
If
live.
you
Don't
wanna
do
go
that.
Big time, if
It's
you really
$4,000. It's
wanna go big
$4,000,
time,
but they can go get it. They can go.
That-
Ain't
you're
nobody.
absolutely
That's
right.
what
And you can
Really?
shoot
That's
aliens
not
coming
true.
out your walls. You don't
AR,
even need a
Fuck
TV.
VR. Let's go AR. Let's go
AR.
AR.
Augmented
I'm
reality.
And
talking
nigga,
AR.
what's gonna stop? We're gonna stop somebody from getting HoloLens other than their wallet.
That's
Yep.
it. Because I know
Facts.
I would get HoloLens if it wasn't for
If
me
I
paying
wanted
my
a
bills.
real VR experience
I'm a-
on that
yeah.
level,
AR
I
has
would
more.
spend 4,000 and get
AR is
that.
more going to be something interesting than VR is
Look,
because
listen.
AR is more incorporative because of the fact that it's mixing both together. I think AR has more features
Gaming
than VR.
community cry so much,
What up,
man.
Lady
I
Infamous?
mean, if you don't want an Xbox Elite controller or a Scuff controller, buy that $60 controller. No, but you know what it is? You want to buy the $60 controller and tell the people who spent that $150 or $180, you stupid. You shouldn't buy that. You work
can we-
hard so you can play hard.
Real quick, can we
listen,
not
later.
compare VR to a controller? Because let's be honest.
No. I'm talking
Control-
about in general of gaming.
Well,
Just
no, but that's-
gaming.
No, I get you,
Like,
but like
complain about
in the
everything.
comment section, try to compare it.
But
It is.
okay,
They complain about everything.
But we can do it for Black Friday because of this reason right here.
Chinese crybabies.
Well, no, because you can do it for Black Friday because the Elite 2 didn't drop in price for Black Friday, and it was $172, $175, and more people bought that peripheral than they did a VR that was $199. Now,
and that's why I brought up
comparison.
that
That is valid, but that's not what I'm getting at.
the other
What
one.
I'm saying is,
okay.
you
Please explain. Please explain.
you don't need the Series 2 controller to play games on Xbox. It's an option.
Yeah, you can
It's
play
not
with
barriers to entry.
use that on
VR,
all.
however, the game's tailored to that specific peripheral. So you need the peripheral to play those games as well. So that's literally, it's not necessarily an option. Dark is a barrier to entry, which I do as well, but like peripheral to play exclusive games is not the same as playing an extra option. This will be hard to explain. Basically, controllers, you can play any game on Xbox with that. VR, you can only play VR games on Xbox, wherever console that is. You really can't compare that peripheral as a VR headset to a controller. Controllers are compatible with every game that's available on Xbox. VR is not exactly. It's really an invalid comparison we're trying to make. Series 2 controller, that's premium controller. But if you choose not to buy that, you can play any games you want to with your regular Xbox controller right now. VR, like I already stated, you have to play VR games for that peripheral. Those are built for that specific peripheral. So that comparison that people made in conversation is really dumb, really ignorant comparison as well. Because it's really a desperation tab at this point. Because like we're just bitching VR's on Xbox right now. You can feel portrayed, feel hurt. I mean, that looks suspect as hell. You feel that way because VR's on Xbox. At the end of the day, there is no negative Xbox outside your fragile feelings at this point. Because VR is no benefit Xbox out of your bullshit talking points. Like, there is no benefit for us right now. You just talk up on Twitter, on social media. As soon as it drops on Xbox, you're going to downplay it. You do everything else.
Facts.
So I'm not. You can miss me all this crap. I'm not hearing it. I'm done.
They only want.
Right, and that's the thing. And I agree with you on Supersonic Station 1 versus 100 should come back, but I think the people who own that is completely done and on. Okay, so Slick Slayer says, I thought we were focused tonight. Let's move on. Love VR. I'm a VR fan. Got you. Yeah, no, that was it. That was the last point. We're gonna get on to the meat and potatoes. We're gonna have a long show tonight. I already knew it. We gotta make up for last. We gotta make for last week, but because this was gonna be a topic for last week, and we got into a damn topic 2 weeks. Well, not last week. 2 weeks ago. And we got into some topics about other shit, and we went real long on that, and now that tripped me out. But this is the topic where nobody, and I mean nobody, maybe, I don't know, I don't listen to everybody's podcast. I don't have the time. I got other shit to do. No disrespect to anybody else out there, but there's not too many podcasts I can listen to because I got other things to deal with. But from my knowledge, I haven't heard really too many people mention anything about this, and if they have, please let me know. And that is about Sony. Sony's 2019. I've heard rumblings. You hear a couple of articles. You see a couple of things. But let's play the role reversal for a second. What if this was Xbox 2019 instead of Sony's 2019 with their game headline? Oh no, we've already had that. I'm sorry. That was supposedly last year with Xbox had no games of quality when it came to Sea of Thieves, State of Decay, and so forth. Only thing they have is Halo, Gears, and Forza, right? PlayStation has not been in any conferences. Except for, I think, what, 2?
They were at Tokyo Game Show. That was it.
Just one. They haven't had any they haven't had the PSX. They wasn't in E3. Their games lineup this year very pedestrian. If you are one of those people that enjoy talking about Metacritic scores, so forth. Not something that you've seen. PlayStation fans used to show those lists. Remember those lists of games that they used to show? All those lists of games just constantly just maybe of 30, 40 games. Just lists of games. You don't see those no more. And one thing that they could always throw their hat on is the sales numbers for those games. So, what the hell happened with Sony this year? all the turnover, Yoshida gone. Andrew House left. Well, Andrew House left towards the end of 2018. But you
Sean
have Sean Layton. You got all these people just moving. They leave. Developers leaving from big name studios from Sony after Sony has had some of the best games this generation being shown or talked about and beloved. And they're going over to the competition or they're doing their own thing. So I'm going to go to you, because I know you're going to be the more reasonable one here. What the hell has happened with Sony this year? Is this a showing of concern? Because even when the biggest point that has been talked about from the Sony fan base all this generation is sales. Even on Black Friday, they came in third. They were last. And they have been getting their ass hammered by Nintendo, by their biggest competitor in Japan. So explain to me, Op, why is nobody really talking about the situation going on with Sony, and why is it that the fan base is so what's the word I'm trying to think of? They're so busy talking about older shit instead of talking about the shit that's going on right there, the games that are supposed to be hot and popping right now. What's going on, man? What's going on?
Well, let's look at it this way. For the better half of a generation, dedicated internet persona, your time, your money, in some cases, pretty much part of your life. Maintaining a facade for capping for a certain corporation. Whatever initiatives they push or seemingly push, back them, whether they directly stated or not. Now, you take all that, you exaggerate it, you fast forward to 2019. This company you cap for, you invest all the time for, pretty much nullifies all of your work or effort, all your whining, complaining, your capping within a span of a few months in the beginning half of this year. So at that point, you're probably experiencing shell shock, betrayal. Probably some sort of depression at a point. Of course, all of this is internal. You're not gonna show it on Twitter. You'll keep it to yourself, pretty much. You'll keep the front going. So at this point, you're feeling all these different emotions right now because the company you've been capping for, you're just kick you to the curve. We all been saying it's going to happen. And so, what do? You own up to it? Fuck that. That's too honest. You're just going to double down everything. You'll keep digging his grave even deeper for yourself as well. So that's why we get this lackadaisical approach to all negative news they've been getting. Early in the year, we began more of a shakeup with our executives getting removed from certain positions, get moved around and whatnot. I think, for me personally, I think they're moving some of their xenophobic executives out of high positions, moving near people as well. So I think they're seeing how that kind of hindered them in the past, but I'm going to leave that topic alone. As far as their gaming initiatives by allowing I guess as far as like improving their services, was it PSN or PlayStation Now? For each one, I get them confused, but PlayStation Now allowing some of their first party games, the newer ones, God of War, there's another one they put on there as well, be on that server as well. It's not day and date, they're allowing on there, and quicker, I guess, in a quicker rotation than before as well. And plus, it's on PC as well. And so then after that, they, of course, they backed out E3. Now they're saying they will be at E3 next year. So for people are saying that if they did an E3, they wanted you to go back to it, which was a contradiction as well, because you don't need it. Why makes money going back to it next year, which was just a ridiculous rabbit hole of itself, because it was just perpetual bullshit. Them just contradicting and capitalizing their own narrative. Where so they come out later saying they won't go back to E3 next year. Then after that, we get more news of VR. It's pretty much confirming what we all already thought. It wasn't that big of a success as well. After that, they lied again. They lied about their total PlayStation sale for all consoles. Before, it was 500 million. And now they're saying, now, Guinness, where they're based on a VG charts. This whole thing is spooky, by the way. So Guinness based their data off of VG charts saying they're at 450 million. Of course, Sony, PR stunt, they're not going to deny it or anything. They're going to accept. But at that point, it's another contradiction as far as saying which one is it? Is it 500 million? Is it 450 million? 450 million? Like, no one really knows for sure, but Sony. So you really have all this going around. It's like it's really just a clusterfuck at this point. It literally is. As far as concerned, am I concerned for Sony? No, it's almost as coming. Anything, this is for the best going forward. Positioned on the best possible way going into the next generation. For their loyalists or extremists on this side, this is terrible for them. So, like, I understand why they're ignoring everything, doubling down on their past narratives, continue to dig a deeper grave for themselves at this point. At this point, it's really the land of no, really they have no return. Like they've already crossed the line, so there's no turning back at this point. A dinosaur, a fallen sword at this point. They're in too deep at this point. The bullshit is too high at this point. They cannot turn around and just like backtrack. And you know what? I'm full of shit for the past 6 or so years. They can't go back on it. I'm just being honest with you. They can't go back on it. But some people you're seeing like that's they partially acknowledge what they did in the past. Others are like gradually shifting of what Sony's doing right now. Because before people were saying doing their push on a PC. Now they're saying, I saw it going to happen eventually. But now, like, you see people they're trying to change their narratives, like saying, like, they're expecting it to happen from the past. We all know they're saying it wouldn't happen.
Jesus.
So, like, right now, murder fans, the extremists, people who take stuff more seriously than they should have, it's been abysmal for them. I feel no remorse, no sympathy for them. They brought this upon themselves. This is what happens when you're not truly honest with yourself. Just keep it about gaming. But at the end of the day, fuck them. It's their fault.
Oh damn. Okay. All right. Lemon, what is your explanation about what's going on with PlayStation right now, man? I mean, is it if this was Xbox, most would probably say this was a bad year for them. Why is it that their fan base is not saying that for all the turnover that's going on, for all the not showing up at shows, not really, their games does not seem to be going to the same way of producing the same type of hype as other years that they've had other titles. What is going on with PlayStation right now? Would you look at it and say that PlayStation might be in some kind of trouble or some kind of turnover or something? Maybe that it's the slowdown and they're trying to build up for something, or is there any cause for concern? Because I don't hear anybody else talking about this.
Okay, listen. This is how it goes. I don't look too deep into many things, but every company goes through a restructure. Right. Now, if you know anything about Sony, the biggest profitable part of Sony has been the Sony PlayStation division, but Sony works as a unit. Mm-hmm. Wherever part of that company works for them, they snatch money from to help the other parts. We know Sony sold they're trying to sell a movie division, they sold a computer division, they're in and out of cell phone divisions, they're in and out of, well, the TV they're not really in and out of, they still number 6 in the world. They're behind OLED, TCL, LG, and Vizio, and a few other companies. Now, I look at it as a restructure situation. That's how I look at it, as a restructure situation. They're pulling it in, they're bringing it in. They know they have to revamp the company, and they have to do better. Not the PlayStation division, because that's their most successful division, but they're revamping as a company. And when people look at these statements or look at the situation, dig deeper than just your PlayStation roots or your console beef roots. You know what I'm saying? You got to look at a financial situation. You know what I'm saying? And as a company, they're not doing what they would like to do on a general basis. I don't take nothing out of this, but every company being, for years, Sony's been on top of the game. And everybody need a restructure. Microsoft went through it. Apple went through it. You know what I'm saying? That's why there's no longer Macintosh computers. You know what I'm saying? Everybody goes through it. And if you don't go through that phase, you won't be around. I think it's just a restructuring phase as for business to keep the company in the whole. That's all.
All right. You know what? Rain84 said this. And before I get to Rain, what his comment was, let me get back to my man, Philosopher Doom. He said, Haven't hollered to y'all brothers in a minute. Hope y'all enjoying the holidays. Indeed, I hope you are too, brother. And thank you so much for the support. Not Sleepy Goblin, but my boy Rain G4. He said everything Microsoft was trying to do at the beginning of the generation is literally happening going into the next generation, and Sony is on a reverse end, and that is absolutely right. And again, everybody was concerned about Xbox and what was their future going to look like, and nobody's saying anything, even after Xbox has had some of the best-selling IPs of all time. They still was questioning Xbox. PlayStation had their biggest and best, one of their best times ever in their history with some of the games that they came out with God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, things like that. But wasn't PlayStation fans, or I should not fans, but PlayStation stands, saying that those are old games and you shouldn't live in the past? So why is it that we're still living off of the Spider-Mans and all these other games when they've already there was no God of War, no Horizon Zero Dawn, no Spider-Mans this year? Yeah, where was these games? I mean, where was those big blockbuster titles at now? Because listen, you can talk about Death Stranding all you want to, but Death Stranding didn't do anything compared to what they did in previous years with the titles that they came out at that time. So
again, boring, dog.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying. I know you played it, you beat it, and all that. Days Gone, that was supposed to be that hit title. That didn't do anything.
Hey, Megan, I ain't never getting that time back.
Huh?
I ain't never getting
You said you ain't getting that time back, huh?
I gotta address somebody real quick. Other Zinc, man. Let me tell you something. No, he's joking? How you know he's joking?
He joking.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
All right. Chill. All right. So again, and then just with everything else that's going on, even if you didn't say, well, man, it's just the games, you know, they're gonna have they're building up for the next gen. And I'll say, okay, cool. But nothing, and I mean nothing, explains why the hell they're having the turnover that they have. PlayStation View is gone. It was leaving next year. VR isn't taking off. The Vita is gone. They're over here. They had to contradict themselves while everybody's going after Phil for what he said. Nobody ain't really taking in the shit that what they said about EA Access. They taking that in. They restructuring PlayStation Now, and there's games that's coming over to the PC, something that was supposed to never happen from those stands out there that swore that Xbox was the only one doing that because they were desperate. So now we already know that God of War is going to PC through that end, and now there are even more serious rumors and headlines from people that are diehard PlayStation fans saying that Horizon Zero Dawn is going to launch on the PC in 2020. What the hell is going on? Please.
Can I interject
on it? What the hell is going on?
First of all, for you people out there that get on Microsoft, a computer company first, games for Windows first, back in the 90s, where they tried to make their games division be what the 360 was pumping out. Let me tell y'all something, man. PC gaming and console gaming is two different fronts. It's not the same situation. It's not the same gamer. And then when y'all talk about success of different companies and everybody ranting and raving, oh, Nintendo's doing great with the Switch after the N64. Didn't Nintendo have a flop? GameCube wasn't successful.
Nope.
Then they brought out a Wii U. There you go. Then they brought out another flop, back-to-back flops. Back-to-back. So now, PlayStation 1 come out, one of the greatest generations of gaming history ever. PlayStation 2 came out, it slowed down. We saw the graphic increase incredibly. OG Xbox came out towards the end of that. Brought the technical aspect, 5.1 gaming, 1080i gaming. It was crazy. Then you had Xbox 360 because the Xbox OG was just like, here, this is what we can do, and then they brought out a system. This is what we going to do. Now, PlayStation 3, we want to make the cell processor. We want to control cars with the cell processor and satellites. And we gonna sell our cards, our cell processor like Intel chips. You can't beat Intel at what Intel do. That was PlayStation's flop. They got humbled. They got crippled by the Westerners. They were shown how to make a console that was developer friendly. Then here come PlayStation 4. Now Xbox like, yeah, we had 2 successful systems. We on top of the food chain. We gonna give you a system that's 900p and talk about NFL networks and picture-in-picture and cable hookups.
Hey man, I hate that. I hate that they took away the picture-in-picture. Man, you shut your
Yeah,
mouth.
I do too. But let's talk about the system being a console and not a goddamn Roku box.
They had dope ass games though. That's the thing.
No.
Hang on. Lemon. You sound like a phony right now, man.
Lemon sounding pretty.
You sound like a phony
right now.
No.
Get his ass 100. Lemon sounding.
You sound like a straight up pony. Cause fucking what Sony ended up doing? Talking about TV.
No, but listen.
A year later,
I'm gonna explain. Let me finish.
Powers.
It's gonna all end up in the
Powers?
No. It's yes, and it was pretty good to the last 2 episodes. But let me finish. Let me finish.
All up in the video.
Let me finish. All up in the videos. But let me finish. I'm gonna get into my point. The point is every company got their hiccup. Did Microsoft drop the first 3 years AAA titles? Yes. When PlayStation didn't have them? Yes. But guess what? When we watched that press conference in May, we all left there scratching our heads. What the hell just happened? Because they didn't advertise or present the system properly. Whereas PlayStation making videos, this is how you share a game on a cell phone video.
But
this is facts.
Okay, right. But this is another thing.
But everybody got their hiccups.
But hold on. You're right. No, I listen. I know. That's why I'm trying to figure out why is the PlayStation fan. Not the stands. The stands will never, ever question anything about PlayStation. But the PlayStation fan or the media will ask these questions. We seen when Phil took over, when all these other people from Xbox, they started leaving, they started doing other stuff, it was, oh my goodness, what's going on with Xbox? Xbox is in trouble. The Xbox One ain't selling well. All these things, blah, blah, they're third in this, their Metacritic scores, and all this other bullshit. It was all doom and gloom.
Right.
But now when we look and see, this isn't normal for a company that has sustained and has dominated this gen like the PlayStation has, for them to now falter the way that they
revamp.
They're revamping, but they're limping into the next gen.
Can I say why? Can I say why?
Totally different.
Can I say why?
Different. This is kind of like last gen when Xbox was the more favorite, was the more popular console. Fuck all the console sales talking shit, but it was the more popular console. When you saw commercials and you saw in movies, you saw people holding Xbox 360 controllers, not PlayStation controllers. This gen, when you see movies, when you see commercials, you see PlayStation controllers in people's hands.
But I'm gonna tell you why, Kim.
They're limping into this generation, and they shouldn't be with all the success that's going on. Something is wrong.
I'm gonna tell you what's going on. I'm gonna tell you what's wrong. And first, let me do this super chat for my man, Sir X-Man Lemon.
Talk to us.
Remember, Dreamcast is all true next gen.
Woo.
Facts. But I am going to say this for the record. I'm going to tell you what's the problem in Sony. You got 100 million consoles plus sold.
Okay.
You made $2.8 billion. You like, yeah. And then in a fiscal year, Microsoft said they made $10 billion. You like, wait a minute. We got the most consoles sold. What happened? So now the board members, when they go to sit down and talk about this money, we have 100+ million consoles sold. How the hell did Microsoft make $10 billion in a quarter? We ain't doing something right. Because console sales do not equate to tons of money.
No, it's the software.
Yes,
But
it
let
is.
me check this
It's the
out. Y'all missing the point.
That's why they revamped
Y'all
it.
missing the whole
Hold on, let me
point.
finish. Wait, let me say. Let me finish.
Go ahead.
They're just trying to figure out how the hell did we dominate console sales and they killing us in cash. That's the problem.
Well, you know what, Other Zine? Triple Cup, you know what I'm saying? And I wish he was here to talk about this. He always made this point. He said that once you get over a certain plateau, which was that 80 million, he always said something about 80 million. He says, and everything starts slowing down. He said everybody else start wanting to buy other products, which Triple Cup Chuck was absolutely right. He was 100% right about that, because now whichever generation, everybody's going to buy the console that is the hottest first, and then that's going to generate more sales, and then everybody's going to pick up on everything else that they want as a backup because it's cheaper. Now, but this is the thing. Xbox, there's people still playing 360s to this day. There's not that many people playing PlayStation 3s now. Most of all those people left and abandoned the PlayStation 3 like it was the plague, like it was fucking herpes. And they said, "You're out of here, Jack." And no offense to anybody who has herpes out there. It's all good. But I'm just saying, I'm not trying to be like that. I'm just saying.
Hey man, you got that cream.
I just say the Scarlet Letter. Let me change it up. Scarlet Letter. You know, you gotta be woke, gotta be conscious. You know what I'm saying? There are people out there that has herpes. So there's millions of people out there that has herpes. So no disrespect. Now, there ain't that many people that got eye herpes. So let me say eye herpes. So, but again, they ran away from it like it was the Scarlet Letter and couldn't wait. But because the 360 was such an iconic console, you know, you could go back to other past consoles like the GameCube. Nobody don't fuck with the GameCube. Well, it's way too old now, and nobody fucks with the Wii U, but they damn sure love the Wii and they damn sure love the Switch. So again, the PlayStation 4 is that beloved console for this generation, and they had those bangers and they had really hot titles. So why would Yoshida be demoted? Why would all these old heads leave? Why would Sean Layton, at the height of his career with his PlayStation, he just took it over just over a year ago. It's not like he was Jack Trenton and had that shit for for a decade. He's only had that shit for about a year and a half, 2 years at the most. And he said, "I'm out," or as the truth is, he was pushed out.
He disappeared.
He's gone. He's Don Matrick. He's in the woods. He's out in Canada somewhere with Don Matrick. And that's the thing that means is that's
Yo, Mako, hold on 1 second, bro. Just 1 second.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm not sure if this is 100% true, but this is a report. Allegedly, Hideo Kojima parts way of Kojima Productions, bro.
That's
what?
Fake. That's fake.
Yo.
That's fake. That's
Oh,
fake.
better be.
Sure
My
it's
man
fake.
right here,
That's
6
fake.
player, read the same thing.
Hold on.
I gotta make sure it's fake. I gotta make sure it's fake.
Hold on, because somebody sent that.
That's
to
wild,
me.
bro.
Yeah. Somebody
That's
sent
wild.
that. Yeah. Because he says, "You gonna talk about this on GRG?" And I posted it on Twitter before the show. I didn't have time to read it, so I was like, "What the hell?" And so I posted it to see, because I was like, I don't know if this story is legitimate or not. So I went through and I checked on Google. I went through Bing. I was like, where the fuck? I don't see this story coming out. So it made me kind of hesitant because I didn't have time because we were just getting ready to start the show when I first read it from somebody. And so at that point I posted and I put WTA question mark. And because I know people would have been already all over it. You know what I'm saying? Because when I seen the post was sent to me an hour before I read it, and I didn't see it until right before we get ready to start the show. And it come to find out it comes from a parody like The Onion, something like that. So it's fake. But
So it's parody. Okay, cool.
Yeah, but what's not fake?
Sorry about the D-line.
Yeah, but what's not fake is that a member of Kojima Productions did leave.
Yeah,
That's
I remember
real.
that part.
That's real. And I'm telling you right now, that's not a good look for a game that just came out, and obviously heads have to roll because that game did not meet expectations of what it was supposed to. And I guarantee you that it's going to start making PlayStation look at Game Pass a little bit different, and maybe PlayStation Now implement it. There's a lot of shit going on with PlayStation right now, and even though a lot of PlayStation fans don't want to admit it, but the facts are the facts. They need PC. They need a Game Pass on their PlayStation Now. They need to restructure that shit, and they need people to support VR. So the best way to do that is to try to have their own Game Pass system. And when all these PlayStation stands see this shit and they start understanding that PlayStation is seeing what Xbox is doing and saying, fuck it, we got to do services just as hardcore as they do, it's going to make all of these dudes irrelevant except for the people that just don't want to believe it, and they'll follow them regardless to the damn grave. And that to me is definitely fucking embarrassing, in my opinion, because the facts is the facts. Get it real. This shit is changing. The gaming era, PlayStation lived and they succeeded only because of the fact that they got to the nostalgic gamer. They went after my boys, the Noof Nukums, and all the rest of them out there. It's like, I believe in my
physical
hardware. I will never get rid of it. And there's millions and millions of gamers that believe like I do. Sorry, Noof. I got love for you. I can't wait for you to come on the show next time to talk about it, because the facts of it is more people are getting digital than they are fucking physical copies. Xbox was the first ones to bring that shit. They just didn't know how to express it. But you know what they did? They pulled in PlayStation marketing teams, the marketing team, and implement them with Aaron Greenberg and the rest of those people. And if you have not noticed, and I know I'm ranting, but I'm sorry, I'll be done. But the one thing that you've noticed is that every time that there is some kind of crazy ass rumor or speculation, if it's not from Aaron Greenberg, it's coming from Phil or somebody else that's killing that notion. If you not noticed that shit this year, then you are not paying attention, because Xbox would just let that shit fester and it would grow its own shit to where it would be so bad that other people would believe what those fanboys would be saying. Xbox is killing that shit now, and that's because they did the right decision and got the right PR people to work with our boy Aaron Greenberg and the rest of them, and to kill those narratives before they even got fucking started. Pay attention. Shit's getting real out here. Anybody else got anything to say about this?
Nope.
Okay. All right. So, I know. Well, Bloody, I know you want to talk about Black Friday, because let's all tie that in with the whole Horizon Zero Dawn talk, the whole PlayStation in a weird precarious situation. So go ahead. I know you want to talk about that. So go ahead. Kill him. I know you want to. Get him.
Okay. So the whole aspect of everyone saying that, you know, that there's a potential of all these games coming to PC, right? It's absolutely going to be an inevitability, because the fact that they want to reach the biggest thing is that they want to reach as many people as they want, because even while they can count all the hardware or all the software sales on console, why not put it in an aspect and a position where they can make more off of it? And PlayStation and Sony know that PlayStation is their biggest selling division and that they need to definitely profit off of that. Why not put your big games on there in a way that could reach a whole new audience? Why not go through your own service and things like that to really get more people playing into it, to really buy it down? This is going to just happen. Everyone sees that there's always one aspect that one company does each generation that everyone's just like, that's succeeding. We should do our own version of that and really run with it. And that's what they're doing. They're looking at it and seeing, oh, this is where a lot of people are starting to do. They're starting to bring a lot of their other IPs to PC, and it's selling. Look at what just happened with the launch of Halo Reach on PC, specifically on Steam. PC people were always mad and always complaining that no one loves Halo, no one wants Halo, and that it needs to be on more than just Xbox, right? Well, guess what? They put one of their classic franchises right there on PC, and guess what it did? 1 million within 3 days since its launch on Steam alone.
Well, PlayStation fans will tell you Spider-Man did 3.
But you're talking about a 10-year-old game that in 3 days did 1/3 of what a brand new game did.
Hold on, Bloody. Say
Say
that again. No, I'm just gonna say that again. Say that again.
I mean, tell me how a 10-year-old game can still do 1/3 of what a brand new game can do. I'm just saying. I'm just gonna say. Chris, don't even go there. All right, don't even go there about the best-selling console.
Let them soak in it. Let them
best-selling console. Yes, they get that world record, right? They just released that. 500 million consoles sold, right? That's our special limited edition. But guess what? When you come out and officially by the Guinness Book of World Records, you have to release the actual numbers to them, and that's 450 million. So where's this other 50 million coming that y'all claim when y'all release this limited edition? It's certainly not being recognized by the official aspects of official sales numbers.
Wait a minute. Are these facts coming from a Death Stranding fan?
Oh, right.
No, he can't be a Death Stranding fan because he still hasn't got it from Amazon yet. Remember?
I mean, I've been playing it, so we all know that I am. I'm just saying, yes, PlayStation collectively, but they still said officially numbers of all their units sold from PlayStation 1, 2, 3, and 4 and everything else, still 450 million consoles by their official numbers. Yet then they just released an official licensed console or limited edition console celebrating 500 million sold. I'm just saying that that's not exactly what's coming out. So the aspect of all these numbers that they're trying to put out, they're absolutely going to follow the competition. They're absolutely going to see what everyone else is doing because of the fact that they have to realize that they have to make a switch up, they have to change, and they have to follow the market and where those aspects going. So them saying that there's a possibility of or more of a confirmation that there's more than likely Horizon Zero Dawn coming out on PC next year absolutely needs to be done because of the fact that why did it take almost several years for that to even hit a 10th or one-tenth of their entire fan base? Why not let it put it out and get more people interested into it by adding it to a whole nother ecosystem, to a whole nother.
Hold on, buddy. Hold on. At least if it come to PC, we get true 4K and not dynamic.
Not that upscale, not that 4K. It's 4K.
Hey, hold on. Let me get to the chat. Andrew Wilkins, what's going on with you, bro? I'm glad you're listening tonight. He said 500 million includes Sony handheld sales. You ex-fools always reaching.
No, because that's not what the official world record says, because that's absolutely something totally different. So, I mean, you need to talk to your favorite company over there and get them to release the actual numbers and tell you what's the truth, because they said 500 consoles. They didn't say everything.
It's a hoax.
I'm just saying over here. Now, the fact that everyone's over here complaining about these Black Friday sales, right? I'm going to preach everyone about a little bit about economics, because no one seems to understand what economics is. So over the holidays, right? We saw that Xbox, especially the S all digital edition, you know, the Sade, gotta give the love to that, was the best-selling console, especially in the UK as well as in most of the European countries. Well, everyone was getting mad that apparently that this console was so well selling when it hit 100,000 consoles, just barely beating out the Switch at about 80,000 consoles, especially in the UK, with PS4 only at 40,000. A lot of people said, well, at the price of $120, that console's just being given away because of all the games that came with and the fact that the Game Pass was selling for it. Yet everyone was hyping up the fact that PS4, the Slim, was $200 going out with God of War.
Wasn't it one time that the PS Slim was $150 like last year or something?
Nope, it was higher than that, but it was being given away with God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, and something else. I think it was Last of Us Remastered, right? And that was a higher price. And they said, yeah, well, at least that price you're getting games that are worth it. Okay, but if you take the aspect of the cost of those games as well as what you're getting in Xbox, you're saying that one's giving away the console for free. Well, technically, they're both giving away
worth it this year.
The fact that you're looking at the software. But no, the fact is, everyone got mad when they released the all digital edition because of the fact that it was set at MSRP of $250, which was $50 less than the S. Which, yes, at that price, I can understand why people were mad. But guess what? MSRP stands for market suggested retail price. That means that is what they are suggesting that it is set as the baseline price for. and that whenever there is a change in sale, it could always go lower than that. It was always set to be $50 cheaper than the S. They wanted to incentivize it to make it an easier console to get into, so that way everyone can go in and get into the ecosystem with a lot more incentive with everything that they're including, with the fact that they're also including Game Pass and everything else, as well as free games
3 months of Game
to start
Pass, 3
that
months.
collection. So this year, with the fact that it did so well with how much they built Game Pass, that is something that is applaudable. But everyone is complaining because of the fact that the console was selling for $120. That is a good price because it was always meant to be a good price point.
It should have been there from the jump, to be
Cheaper
honest.
than the S. It was always meant to be their big seller. Well, the S is still going to sell for people who want discs. The aspect is that the all digital was going to be more of a price point entered for the casuals and those who don't really know about the full consoles to be able to get into that ecosystem with a much cheaper option while still having access to a wide variety of aspects. So the fact is that it is $120 makes it, one, a good deal for people who are interested in it during Black Friday, but it also shows the fact that if you look at the economics, they had it set as a cheaper price point from the get-go, so that way people were able to see that this is always going to be an easier option for a lot more people to go. This was going to be the one that they were going to push for to have their highest sell. You can look at the
fact, people sitting up, hit that like button. Hit that like button. You're right, Lemon. I seen that shit.
Hey, Lemon. Only thing I want to say, LeBron James
shooting them 30-foot 3-pointers. You better push up at half court. My man is dangerous.
And I'm over here showing love to the people out here, to the gamers out here.
I'm showing love to the Laker fans. Laker Nation.
I know my Thunder took it to overtime. I hope they won. I don't know if they did or not.
You hoped.
I'm just saying, everyone over here is complaining about that price point.
He opened up the pot
for everything that's being given away. The fact is that if you look at the economics, they knew exactly what they were doing by reducing the price point by removing that Blu-ray drive and the disc drive. They made it a cheaper option. They made it more suggested, and they pushed it to really be their big seller during the holidays when people are trying to get whatever they can for a good deal. They are trying to make sure that this was the focus. They still had people sell. They still made a focus on, hey, guess what, guys? The Xbox One X, $350, and you still get all this stuff with it. They made that a big point. But they were definitely pushing, hey, guess what, guys? The all-digital edition going to be $150, and then you saw it drop down to $120. That is one of the best price points for newcomers to the ecosystem who have no background knowledge of everything that Xbox does to really get into the ecosystem, because one, it came with several of the biggest games that they have, as well as access and several months of Game Pass, the biggest library that they can give everyone straight into. Guess what? You can go and buy your PS Slim for $180, $200 and get those 3 big name games, right? What the hell are you going to pay for, or what are you going to play afterwards? You're going to have to go out and buy those new games. Guess what? I could pay $120, get my little cousin into it, and guess what? Hey, you could play all these games right now, and it's not going to cost you a goddamn thing. But if I get you that PlayStation, guess what? You're going to have to ask mama to go buy you a bunch of new games because it's not coming out of my wallet.
Oh, shit. All right. Well, we got 2 more, and we can be really quick about it because I want to be done here in the next 15 minutes. So let's do this. Thanks for watching with us, Slick. I knew that we had a lot of topics, and I wanted to catch up with them. I didn't want to bring shit over for next week because we don't know what all we will be talking about next week. And on top of that, I really want to get in depth about the VGAs, our game of the years, our disappointments of the years next year. I'll see if I can try to bring a guest on. So if anybody's interested, come on, hit me up beforehand before I start reaching out to people and see if they want to come on the show next week. But listen, like I said, PlayStation is having some issues. I don't care how anybody wants to try to damage control it. The fact of it is, if this was Xbox, this would be something that Xbox fans couldn't control. If Phil Spencer left and Mikey Barr, he did leave, but he went to a better position. If Phil Spencer got demoted and now he's doing ID Xbox, and then you got somebody popping up, there ain't nothing you can say to me I don't care how diehard Xbox and whatever. The fact of the matter is, like, yeah, Xbox is in some trouble. I don't know what the hell is going on, and we need to find more answers. PlayStation fans want to sit there and stick their thumb up their nose and say, no, man, you know what I'm saying, 102 million sold. The fact of it is that there is something going on. The management has decided. They've even said just last year that the PlayStation 4 console shit is niche. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't bring in what they want to. So again, we need to start hearing more PlayStation 4 podcasts start asking these questions instead of them overlooking it and still talking about Xbox. That's what we need to talk about. But anyway, let's talk about the Master Chief Collection really fast.
I already hit that, but I'll hit it again.
No. Well, you hit it. But and this is a free fall. Anybody can jump in on this and say what they want to say about it. All I have to say for it is that I'm thankful. I remember I'm having this conversation with Xbot, and Xbot was like, no, they're not going to jump in. They're not going to do this. And there was quite a few people that was like, it would be stupid for them to try to fix it. It's well beyond fixable. You know what I'm saying? It's too broken. And I said, for them to put in a collection that no other game I've ever played or known, for any other company to try to put a big franchise and make a collection like they did, it would be the most craziest thing for them to pull out now when they have a whole generation to get that game fixed. Gamers, as long as they fix it, gamers will come. And lo and behold, Xbox 5 years later from damn near 5 years later or it has been 5 years later from the 2014 launch, they have fixed Halo Master Chief Collection, and they've added Reach, and they've even put it on the PC. They haven't even put the whole Master Chief Collection on PC, and it is sold like gangbusters, and it's revitalized the Master Chief Collection to something that people did not think that Xbox would stick with or would handle. So I'm going to go to you first, 100. Get your thoughts about it. I know you've been playing it. Was it worth it? Was it worth it?
I'm gonna put it this way: it was already worth it because you got all the damn games for $40.
Right.
It was already worth it. And when anybody give you that type of value, people will the multiplayer. You know how many engines they was running on it? 343 had the balls to make the first attempt. Look at anybody. The first person to try to fly an airplane, they crashed the plane. Mm-hmm. Anybody that tried to make a space shuttle go in space. Come on now, y'all. You know what I'm saying, think about it. This is what I don't. Me and the Halo community, we be going in on each other because you wanted something. They tried to do the best they did for it. They didn't abandon you on it. Then they try to solve the problem and say, you know what? We're going to throw ODST in it for free. I wouldn't have gave you a damn thing. You got it for $40. The game's by itself, the single player by itself. They gave you a remastered Halo 2 that looks gorgeous. But then they went back and made all of them, 4K 60. What will you... I don't see no other outlet giving you that. Now the PC, the PC community, they over there, you know what I'm saying? They over there busting. I ain't gonna say the word, but they over there, you know what I'm saying? They creaming on themselves. They got something to play. You know what I'm saying? They all got this on Steam, and I can go on the Xbox store, and all. I already heard people talking about modding that damn game. But ain't Halo been able to be modded already through Forge and all this other stuff? Look at all the damn multiplayer maps. You're trying to render all them. And I'm going to tell you, I'm not a fan of them slow ass. That's why I probably wasn't in the multiplayer. Them slow ass goddamn multiplayers they got. I played Reach. I ain't playing that shit no more. Slow ass multiplayer. I don't give a fuck about the armor abilities and anything. that shit is too slow because I'm fast paced now. It's too slow. It didn't age with me, but I see the PC community loving it. Oh my God, this is wonderful. Halo is the Microsoft. The Halo had been saved. Halo been saved. There's nothing wrong with Halo because it didn't have Bungie name on it. I'm tired of that. 85% of Bungie is back at 343. They didn't. Destiny didn't do Destiny. But then I play. This is the craziest thing though. I play Reach, and I see Bungie in Destiny. I see Bungie in Destiny, and I'm like, that's Reach and I said, okay, they left us. They left us with a blueprint what they was gonna do with Destiny. Well, you can't shoot an enemy from far away or from the draw distance and all that. Like I say, I'm a Halo fanatic, but like I say, it's just crazy to me that Reach came out. If you do get it, you want to buy it by itself. It's $7.99. That's not a big price. You can't afford $7.99. You need to go bag some groceries. You know what I'm saying? Hell with them, man. I'm telling you, I'm like, these guys out here, all of a sudden Halo was dead. Halo ain't never been dead. Halo always been alive. Just because Reach came out on PC and have y'all playing on the same power or less power than the Xbox One X. But I'm glad they gave us the 4K assets. I play Reach. Thing about it is, I never was mad about the multiplayer because they tried to do something that nobody never done before. They try to be innovative, but nobody want to talk about that. I don't see Sony and Nintendo trying to be innovative, and that's all I got to say about that. My commercial over. Back to the Laker game.
All right. Anybody else want to touch on this? Live 108 or op? Anybody want to touch on this?
I mean, I'll add a little bit more to it.
Oh, well, I think Live was going to say something. You kind of touched on it a little bit, but I'm going to let Live go first, and then you can go in, Bloody.
Yeah. I played a bit of the Reach, and it's great, man. It's been a while since I played it, man. Good grief. Because even when it became backwards compatible, I didn't really play it like that. But now I get to go back to it. It's nice. It's real nice. I don't know how much of the multiplayer I'll be playing because it is kind of that older style. I wouldn't say so much traditional because there are things that are different. And I really wasn't into the multiplayer for Reach. I don't know why. It wasn't that anything was bad with it. It was just that, bro, it's just so many games out that a lot of times once I beat the campaign, and unless my fam is like, yo, we got to play this multiplayer, and there ain't many games other than like 2K where it's like, oh, you got to play the multiplayer. So, but I can't wait to jump back into it, man. I've been playing that in the Outer World, so the Outer World, bro, it's a good damn game.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead, Bloody. Go ahead.
All right, what I was trying to, like I mentioned earlier, and what I touched on it is the fact is like this game did 1 million in 3 days. A 10-year-old game, specifically with Reach being the first game to come on PC, right? Especially launching on Steam and all that, and the rest of the collection is going to come out updated for PC, and then they're going to do some updates. What 343 has been doing with this game and with the Master Chief Collection, they could have easily done like a lot of other remaster collections that are broken and launched out and stuff like that. Just left it alone and could have just let it die. But did they? No. They spent the past 6 years updating that game. So they have not only Halo 1, 2, 3, 2 remastered. Then, of course, they also had 1 with the Anniversary Edition. Then they added an ODST. Then they had 4 and 5. 4 was added into the MCC. 5 is it's separate. And now they finally added Reach because they added it for PC and it's coming to console. 6 years they've been updating all those games. And the second that it comes out on PC, when they announced that they were going to bring the MCC to PC, a lot of people got excited. And everyone's just like, oh, Halo's dead. No one cares for Halo. That's a lie. Halo is still the #1 first-person shooter out there. It has been the name that revolutionized first-person shooters for twin sticks and being able to be done on console. It also had a base back in the day on PC with the first Halo originally. This shows that Halo will always have power. People try to downplay what Halo can do. No one can do the numbers that Halo can do. And this proves it with a 10-year-old game on PC that Halo will not die. It still has very much power to last. And that 343 is doing everything right to improve this game, to take the future of Halo in a much different direction, and still make sure that Halo will always be something that a lot of people remember. And if anyone tries to say anything otherwise, they're lying to themselves, and they're just trying to cause controversy to be controversial. And this is coming from someone who hasn't played any Halos. Well, technically, me and Op finally beat Halo 1. The only Halo I ever beat was Reach, way back in the 360. I'm excited for this. I'm excited to really get back into it and play through the whole series again, because I want to see why everyone fell in love with Halo. Story-wise, it's great. Some of the older games with their mechanics is a little bit, I was like, God damn, I don't know how people got back into it back in the day, but, you know, we're used to the cleaner mechanics nowadays than back then. But it still shows Halo will always have power, and no one can say that Halo is not the king. No one can do the numbers that Halo does. There's a reason it's a billion-dollar franchise. And it's one of several powerful franchises under Microsoft's umbrella. And that's a fact. And if you don't believe me, take Lemon's word. Lemon knows more about this than I do.
Yeah. And that's the thing right there that I crack up when people try to say, well, it lost its luster. The point of the matter is that, look, yeah, Halo 5 kind of tainted some things because of the advertising. And I think the more that we look into what the media has become, the gaming media, I should say, has become, the more I think that gamers are starting to realize that they haven't fulfilled the task of being completely legitimate about who they are. And we've seen a lot of fraudulent bullshit. And they rather cater to something that would benefit them to get more clicks than it is to be about sincere game, just be old school sincere gamers. And that was one of the reasons why I think a lot of the traditional gamers or reviewers and things like that we used to see and pay attention to and beloved, they're gone now because the new guard is taking over and it's kind of corrupted it. And it is something that my boy the Don always say. He said, look, if you just check their numbers, they're declining. YouTubers are the ones that are the new face of this new era, and so they have to do whatever it takes for them to still stay as relevant as possible. Do I feel that Halo 5 deserved the scrutiny that it did? No. Hell no. Do I believe that Halo 5 is the best story in the Halo franchise? Hell no. But I do believe that the new concept of what 343 did with Halo 5 and to bring in, to make it more modern, and even if you're not a fan of Warzone or some of the modes that they have, you have to admit that after you play some of the...
Turn it down a little bit.
Yeah, because I hear you, Lemon. I hear you. I don't know what the hell's going on.
No, you hear yourself. I'm not talking.
Lemon, I hear you talking. That's what I'm talking about. So again, the thing that I'm trying to say is, whatever the hell is that this hate has come for games like Halo and for Forza and for Gears, I'm not understanding it. For long-lasting franchises, I'm not understanding why there is no hate for God of War, for Uncharted, and for others that are long, and Gran Turismo, which are long-lasting series, or for Mario or Luigi, or for any other of these franchises that's been way out there.
Can I interject?
That's been living off of those mighty platforms for so long. So
Can I interject?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, first of all, Microsoft from the days of just computing has been the number one hated company because they've always been winning. Okay,
right.
They have 3 franchises that they live upon. So so does PlayStation. They live off God of War, Uncharted, and Gran Turismo. They got their 3 big guns. Now, do they 3 big guns match up financially with Microsoft big guns? No. Only one of them do. But let's just talk facts here. Halo 5 was not ridiculed for not being a great game. It got ridiculed, which it really needed to be ridiculed, because it wasn't the best in the series for the number. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
It wasn't better than the rest of them. But if you compare it to another game outside of itself, it's better than 90% of the games on the market.
I disagree, but go ahead, finish up.
I mean, 90% leaves 10% of other games. What I'm saying is, you only can compare greatness with itself. You only can compare Gears to itself.
People already listen. This is where I think I did disagree with you, Lemon, on the fact of Halo 5, is that they gave the same scrutiny to Reach and to Halo 2 because it wasn't Master Chief all the time.
No, but what I'm saying is, you just agree with me.
No.
What I said was, you only can compare Halo to Halo. You can't compare Halo to no other game. You can't, because it's always epic. You don't have to like the story that they dealt with. But what you just said, you're comparing Halo to greatness, which is another Halo game.
But that's okay. But that's the thing, though. That's why I say I disagree. Is because in the sense of it, Halo 5 is the overall better game because it gave more features. They overhauled it to be a better game, and on top of that, they added to the story something that I've been asking for, other than Reach and for ODST. I wasn't a fan of ODST. Now I had to go back to Reach and play it because at the time when I beat it, I was half-assed into it. It was Halo.
Right. You just played it as a first-person shooter. You didn't look at the story, right?
I just got through with it because I just wanted to get through it. But after playing it again, I had more love for it. So I got to go back to it and listen and play because I already beat Reach already. I'm going to go back on and beat it on Legendary. But I got to go back to ODST and beat it on Legendary to see if I.
Oh, you don't want to do that.
No,
you don't want to do that.
No, I do.
That game, no. That's hard.
There's only 2 games left on the Master Chief Collection that I have not beaten on Legendary, and that's Reach, and then that's ODST. And
just remember, ODST, you're not a Spartan. That's hard.
I know that. But
I'm just saying.
But that's and all that other stuff. So anyway, regardless of that, and Oni and all that. But the thing that I'm trying to say is that I remember everybody hating the Arbiter, and they couldn't stand him.
Yeah, remember that?
Play like him. They didn't want him. They thought it was stupid to play as the Covenant. What the hell was Bungie thinking, and all of this and all of that? Now everybody loves the Arbiter, and everybody hated Reach. There was no Master Chief. There was nobody from that era. But then when they finally finished the story, now it's beloved. I hope Halo 5 get that same credit once. And this is what I do think that what they'll do with Halo 5. I think that they'll add Halo 5 to the Master Chief Collection, but do it with a Scarlet enhancement. Because of the fact that it just makes perfect sense. And then when they add that enhancement to the Scarlet, then they'll send it over to Master Chief Collection, and then it'll go over there to the PC as well. Because Halo 5 is the only right. Halo 5.
What enhancement are you gonna do to it?
What'd you say?
It already grown 4K 60.
Well, I'm talking about a Scarlet enhancement. Whatever the fucking Scarlet's gonna do to it's gonna be.
What else can it do?
Well, the Scarlet's gonna be a beast, so it's gonna do
Yeah,
way
it don't matter.
more.
They could have did more this generation.
Hey,
They don't even need a Scarlet to enhance Halo Reach. They could have did more.
Right.
I'm not complaining because it looks beautiful, it's
You
sharp as
talking
hell.
about Halo
They could have did
5?
Well,
more.
I'm saying about Halo 5.
They could have did more.
Oh,
They ain't charging
Halo 5.
nothing.
Okay.
Pay the bills. Shout out to Sir X-Men with the $2 super chat saying, don't forget Fight Night Sunday game is Tekken 7.
Let's go. I'll beat your head in again. Anybody
I'll
wanna
be
get
playing
some-
with y'all at XCloud.
Anybody want this Tekken 7? Let me know. I'll be ready.
Yeah, I got that. I got that law for that behinds out there in the streets.
Come and get it. Come and get it.
We should
Come
play.
and get
We
it.
should play Fight Night.
Nah, but we need to get to the next topic. Let's go, man. Let's
Yeah,
keep moving.
It's the last topic. It's the last topic. But the one thing I wanted to say about this, though, is that Master Chief Collection is. I so appreciate Microsoft not giving up on this, and though.
But they can't. They can't give up on it.
Oh, they
It's their
could.
breadwinner.
Listen,
Nah, it's their
hold on, wait a
breadwinner.
minute, wait a
No,
minute,
sir.
wait a minute. No, that's where you're wrong, Lemon. Because PlayStation could give a half-ass Uncharted series.
We're
and
not
people
talking about
still love it.
PlayStation.
But we are.
We're not talking about Play.
No,
We're talking about
you
Xbox
can't-
and Halo.
Well, listen, there's nothing in comparison to the Master Chief Collection. Nothing in gaming that's compared to that collection. Nothing. So you have to go and look and search for any other collections out there that's even come somewhat similar. And the only thing that I could think of that's maybe in the same universe is Uncharted. And Uncharted half-assed because they didn't even give the multiplayer.
Yeah, they did. Right. They came up short. Dudes was like, I love the multiplayer. They was like, we're not doing it.
Yeah, we're
And they
not
left
doing
it at that.
Right.
We're not doing it.
And that's
Right.
the thing to me is that but Halo Master Chief Collection at launch was such an abomination that
Facts.
You would think that it would be, you know what I'm saying, in 5 years it would have been forgotten about. No, even the stands didn't even talk about Halo.
They
Master Chief
can't
Collection.
forget about the biggest franchise smoking. And I ain't talking about the biggest sales. I'm talking about the biggest first-person console game on any one console. Not multiple consoles, any one console. There is no game to outsell Halo first person on any console. No, I'm just saying that. But the epic, but the epic situation of the collection. But I'm just saying, just in general, when dudes be like, "Oh, Call of Duty sells numbers," and they talk about numbers across 3 different platforms combined. Halo outsells Call of Duty on any Xbox all the time.
That may be true. I don't know.
No, that's a fact.
I just know Call of Duty.
Oh, that's a fact.
It's its own phenomenon. But Call of Duty hasn't done a collection like the Master Chief Collection. Only thing
No, they haven't.
That I'm glad that they never gave up on it because they could have, and nobody would have gave a fuck except for the people that paid for it. And they'd be like, man, I wish that they didn't give up onto it, but they didn't because they showed that they cared more about the franchise that saved the Xbox brand than they did about people that was telling them to just give up on it and let it die. That is what I'm talking about. I appreciate it so much because I just felt that they should never let something like that was that phenomenal just go away. But anyway, last topic. Let's get out of here. And that's the LockHart. I don't expect us to talk about that too much. I mean, talk about it in full detail because listen, there's so many other podcasts that talked about that bullshit.
And it's rumors.
And let's the one thing that's not a rumor that it is in the talks. It is a thing. But the thing to me is where I have the biggest problem with this whole LockHart thing, or with any of this information about tech, is that every week there's always other podcasts that's talking about what they know, what they heard from some specialist, or what the inside knows.
Or the insight, they know somebody.
Or they know somebody, or that they're so superior-minded other than everybody else to know what the fuck is going on. And the fact of it is that every other week somebody's looking like a fool. That's why we don't get into full detail about that bullshit, because to me...
No, say it. Get mega full dummy status.
No, I'm not saying that because I don't like calling people dummies and nothing like that.
I do.
I just say it's bullshit because listen, even for your most popular YouTubers out there, the fact of it is that everybody's been wrong in one way, shape, or form. That's just the facts. The thing.
Some people are not wrong. They just be making stuff up.
No, every motherfucker that's been on YouTube has been wrong. Everyone.
Because they be making it up.
Unless
They be
unless
clickbait.
they make videos about their own family and life and shit, what's going on within their household, they might be right. But when it comes to talking about video games and businesses and all this other shit, like they know and they not a worker or employee about, no, they don't know. Listen,
don't know.
I listen to insiders. I talk to people that's was inside this shit too. Even when I was really deep in listening to so-called people, and then next thing you know, I was argued down by some people. Like, no, that's not happening. And then when it did happen, I'm like, I'm not ever listening to your dumb ass ever again. And see, I said I don't say those type of words, but that shit made me irritated.
Okay, Megan, can I ask you a question?
Maybe that's why I'm not as popular as I should be. But regardless,
No. Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question, K Mega?
Yeah.
Can you pick up the phone and dial somebody and get a personal information on Microsoft? Can you do that?
No.
No. Yes, you can.
I probably could, but I don't.
No. You don't do it, but you can. There's a difference. Yeah, you could. But we know people, right?
Right.
And if we don't do that, what you think these dudes that don't know nobody doing? Frauding.
But again, people tend to want to go out and they
put themselves out there.
Put themselves out there. It is what it is. I mean, say what you want, whatever the case may be. But this is the thing with the whole LockHart thing. Only thing I will give you, and what this panel will give you, is an assumption. Because nobody fucking knows at the end of the day. I remember everybody and their mama and their grandma, their nieces, aunties, their cousins, brothers, nephew had somebody's information about what the motherfucking what the X was going to be. And everybody was pretty much fucking wrong because everybody said, "Oh, it's coming with the Ryzen chip." No,
the next
gen. Nobody. And what happened? And what fucking happened? That shit was all wrong. So again,
it's the remix Jaguar.
It's the remix Jaguar. So again,
facts.
With this whole LockHart thing, right? This is my theory, and I want to hear y'all guys' theory, and then we can be done. I think personally, it's not a new console. I think it is a diskless version of the X.
Woo, that's my man. That's why you my brother from another mother.
Yeah, same same architecture. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, not same architecture. It might use some of the newer technologies that's going into the Scarlet, but it's going to be more of a diskless system to where it doesn't cost any type of money, to where they will try to implement this to be a cheaper outlet for customers that want to jump into the 4K 30 or 1440 P60 game world.
Which it does. 14 or 2K 120.
Okay, whatever. That's why I'll go to you next and get your expertise onto that.
I'm appalled that we talking about this subject right now.
Okay. Well,
no, but it's a subject that needs to be talked about.
It's podcast talk. It's podcast talk.
Right, podcast talk.
I don't give a damn what's I'm appalled that we talking about this because we should be talking about this. We must be trending. We must be set trenders, not followers. We set trenders.
It's a subject. It's a subject and an injury.
It's a subject that's been on Twitter that people been talking about for the last week, and ain't none of them got no sources. They don't know what nobody talking about.
So you ain't got no. You got no comment.
Let's talk about this shit in March.
It's a topic. It's
a topic, right?
Yeah, it's a topic, but it's a topic. We better than this.
How are we better than talking about gaming?
We better than this. We know the truth and nothing but the truth of how God dresses Xbox.
That's why I went into my whole rant saying a speculation. I know you.
Right. Come on, 100. Relax.
We shouldn't be talking about speculations. We supposed to be talking about what you.
All right, 100. If you don't want to comment, just leave it at that.
I ain't gonna comment. I'm watching the game. Okay. You know, I gotta.
All right. Let him finish. Go ahead, K Mega.
All right, fine. Thank you. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. And then you can do your fella, and we can get the hell out of here. Whatever. I'm trying to say, that's my boy, three-headed monster. This is the thing right here, right? That's the far left monster right there. That's over there. He's over there with the lip head. He's over there just leaning around complaining. This is the thing right here, right? I think personally, and that's why I said I don't know because I don't care. I just
and we ain't gonna make nothing up.
Yeah, I ain't gonna make no shit up. I'm just making just assumptions. But the thing to me is that I think that where it would be smart to have the different SKU is the fact you want to kind of eliminate the S. But you want the X, because I've said this a million times, to be the future-proof system. And then if you have a all-digital X, which will be LockHart, then I think that would be a smart decision. Now, the one thing that I have the biggest problem with YouTubers and with the media, is that they tend to try to make customers and casual customers act like they're stupid. Like, oh, how are they going to know how many consoles are out there? Oh my God, that's going to confuse them. That's going to confuse them. How many motherfuckers go out and they go to Walmart or Best Buy or Target or any of these other stores, or looking on their online and they see hundreds of different models of televisions on their television screen, or when they walk into a store and they see,
you know what they do? They ask a goddamn question.
Right. And right. And then they see all these TVs, but then they always go to that TV that they know that they want. Why is it that on Black Friday motherfuckers look like Neanderthals because they fighting over that brand of television because of that price, and already know that that's a deal for them? Why is it that when people walk into a T-Mobile, Sprint, AT&T, Verizon store for a cell phone, they don't sit there and get confused? They already know what the fuck phone they want. They already know. That only certain amount of people that just come in there blindsided, and they see, and they may, and if they ask questions, it's because they see something that they didn't already pay attention to, and they're like, whoa, this phone might be what I want. So then that's when they start asking questions. When you go to the store and you see appliances, when you call to the dealership and you go and you see different cars, they already know what fucking car that they want. If they're window shopping, then they look, and then they go and they process, and then they decide and make a budget and then do this. Why is it that YouTubers and fucking the media always got to try to assess that the fucking casual market is dumb? That shit pisses me off. That's the dumbest shit that I've ever heard from anybody. You make it sound like these people are fucking idiots, and you are the fools that keep on downgrading people's decisions on how they spend their fucking money, and then that's why you're wrong.
Facts.
Yeah, I mean that's just beyond being honest, can't make it, because like you hear constantly people talking about, well, how are the customers going to figure out what's the difference between this Xbox and that Xbox? But yet when they go in the store to get a cell phone, they know what a 10S Plus is. Right. They know what a Note 2 is. They don't get going there and get, I'm so confused. Wait, what bring him a Bobby Thingamajig am I supposed to buy? Like, who do you think are buying consoles? Fucking 90-year-old people? What the fuck? Like, if they can figure out how to buy a phone, a TV, fucking crock pot, they can figure, I mean, in this shit, tons of different type of crock pot. Trust me, I know. I done seen, you go on and shit, be like, damn, there's like 15 of these bitches over here. Right. So if they can figure that shit out, they can figure out what type of console it is. Oh, and the funniest thing is they always act like, all right, people are dumb. But guess what? Even if by chance there's this motherfucker that doesn't know how to use the internet and is dumb as shit, they got this thing in the store called a fucking sales rep. And it's his job.
What is that thing called again?
Sales rep. And it's his job or her job to tell the customer or inform the customer of their options. How much are you looking to pay? Well, these are the options. Are you looking for power? You can get power, but it comes with a bigger price. Do you want something, the economy version? Well, we have something that's a little bit cheaper for your wallet. It's not fucking rocket science, but these people, you know what it is?
Oh, damn, live went off air. He was speaking.
I thought it was me. You know what it is? Blank.
He was
there we go.
speaking too much facts. You went off. You went off. You were speaking too much facts. They shut you down for a minute. Go ahead, finish live. He's gone. Okay, live. We'll get back to you. Oh, you're messing up. You're in and out. I don't know what's happening.
It's the impeachment board. They coming for him.
They coming for you, man. It's the house. It's the house impeachment. They coming.
What it is? Because I got my Xbox shit on. I had my the fucking Game Pass app on. Sometimes for whatever reason that shit. I don't know.
I know one thing. I know one thing. The internet caught every goddamn curse you did.
They coming for you.
Oh, they did.
They didn't skip none of your cursing.
Shit.
Anyway, go ahead, finish live.
Nah, but you know what it is? I think the real thing is people that are concerned with people being confused they're kind of being reflective. They be like, well, I'm kind of a dumb motherfucker, so I'm a bit confused. No, but think about it. Who would even think of that shit like that? If you're not the one that, like, bro, I've been gaming my whole life. I know the ins and outs of all kinds of shit. Like, if anybody's interested in a console, you always have somebody who either is an advocate for you to tell you, all right, this is the shit you need to get, or you are a person that knows how to do it. But like all that other bullshit that people complaining and whining and talking about, well, they're not doing it. Like, I'm pretty sure Lemon buys a lot of people shit. He tells them what's the best thing. Honey, everybody has a family member that does that shit. Before it was me, it was my
Yeah, that would be me.
You see what I'm saying? I'm the one that put me up on that shit. He's the one who showed me how to fucking hook up a monitor to my fucking Nintendo and NES when my TV broke. You know what I mean? Like, bro, there's always an advocate in every family. So, like these people talking all that lame shit, like, how's Johnny gonna know? If Johnny's a goddamn gamer, he'll figure it out.
Right. That's the thing that it bothers me more than anything, is that they think that Tanisha with Little Jackson ain't gonna figure out what options that Little Jackson want, when the fact that Little Jackson is probably more enhanced than our older asses, because kids are way more advanced in technology than we've ever could have thought of. Or, you know what I'm saying, Susie Q with Timmy, you know what I'm saying, is going out there and they think that those two are dumb as hell and they can't understand or comprehend, even though when anybody walks into the store, you always have mad options. When we wash our ass, we go to the store and we see exactly which option that we want the best and we pick it up. We can see Dow, we can see Suave, we can see all these other different type of brands of soaps and brands and everything else, and then we decide to which one we want to do. That's with razors, that's with everything else. So why is it that it's always different with video games?
Megan, you know what's funny? What's funny? We are more so the dinosaurs than these younger people that we think are. Man, they be doing all this shit with Fortnite and Minecraft and Roblox, and I be sitting there like, I don't know, understand it. I don't know what the fuck's going on. But they totally get it. And a lot of the people that are talking about, well, they're not gonna fucking know because they're casuals. No, they're not casuals just because they play Roblox. They're fucking children. But they know what the fuck they want. Like, it's just crazy, man.
Yeah. So, anybody else want to say anything? A limit over here sound like he about to pass out. So what?
No, I'm here, son. I'm driving my car.
I'm wondering, are we doing our sign-outs right now?
Yeah, we're doing our sign-outs right now. So
okay, then. Well, man, everyone can follow me on all my social media. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, and Instagram. And, of course, over on Mixer, all at Bloody Knuckles, BLOODIE_KNUX. I stream 5 times a week on Mixer. And I do the Smash Podcast, your one-stop shop for all things nerdy news and geek goodness, where we cover all things pop culture every Saturday. We will be finally back after 2 weeks off tomorrow, so make sure y'all come follow me over there and all that good stuff. And also follow me on YouTube. And, of course, guys, if y'all don't know, make sure y'all check out my Twitter, because I am part of a giveaway with a bunch of other content creators where you can win a Razer mouse and an Elite Series V2, as well as other things. And check me out.
All right, cool. This is probably the longest GRG ever. No, this ain't the longest GRG ever.
Nah,
it's 1 in the morning, 12 o'clock your time. Let's get it done.
Hey,
we
man,
done.
Shut your ass up, man. What you ain't gonna do nothing but sit there and drink some Geritol, take your old ass to bed. Shut your ass up.
Oh, shit.
You know what I'm saying? All right, so go ahead, do your sign out, sucker.
Shout out to my man K Mega for wearing those Geritol thongs tonight. That's my man.
And I'm about
Those
to do
depends.
Dance off. That's my girl's favorite.
In your sleep. You can find me at 108 Dragons TV on every social platform on the planet. I welcome and thank everybody for stopping by and giving us your energy, man. We always try to provide a great show. And like I said, man, I got a great video up showcasing some new hardware that will help you with your portable gaming status. Go out there, check that out, man. Your boy Lamitius is in these streets. Facts.
Also, love to brother Lamitius for talking.
No doubt. Livewire, where can they find you at, man?
You can find me on my channel, Livewire Gaming. I haven't put up anything in a little bit. I might have to try to do some next week, before the holiday hit. But you can check me out on Livewire Gaming, and yeah, man, check out everybody else's channel too.
No doubt. 100. Where can they find you at, man?
So they can find me at your local.
No, you can find me at where you get drunk on the corner. Oh my bad.
Yeah.
Disrespectful. You hear that, 100?
Oh no.
I can find me at y'all local drunk tank. That's why I get drunk in real life in VR and all that shit.
You ain't been on the boat in a while, so I haven't been on the boat.
I ain't been loaded. Hey, I've been working too much. But man, y'all can find me everywhere on the interweb, you know what I'm saying? And y'all be blessed and y'all have a good night, you know what I'm saying? Be safe in them gaming streets.
No doubt. All right. And then last but not least, I guess that's me. Hey, thank you guys for hanging out with me. I knew that it was going to be a pretty long show tonight because I wanted to get everything out the way so we can talk about stuff thoroughly next week, which is talking about those game awards, all that, because I'm excited about what we're going to see. And I think really and honestly, I think we might be pretty pissed off about
can't make it. Tell them the truth. We're gonna do our own Game Awards show.
Well, I know Lemon's gonna do his own Game Awards show.
Not Lemon, it's us. It's no Lemon. Us. Special guests. I got Xbox coming through, Miss K coming through, K Mega 100. This how we doing, King David.
We're
gonna have our own show. But you know what?
He's enthusiast.
And bloody. Let me tell you something. I'm putting the polls on Twitter. Follow your boy Lemon at 108 Dragons TV on Twitter. I'm putting up all of the categories and games nominated, and it's real games nominated. Not nothing saturated, not nothing false, and your vote counts. This is what we're doing for 2019 into 2020, baby. Let's talk about it, K Mega. Talk about it.
No doubt, man. Go support it, man. Once he puts the poll out, I'll definitely go ahead and I'll retweet it. Thank you guys for still watching and checking out the show. I know, man, you know what I'm saying? We definitely support all the love, man. No doubt about it. Again, this is man, K Mega 405, man. Thank you for the support, man. Go ahead, if you have not subbed to the channel, sub to the channel. Sub up, man. Support everybody. I will be on next podcast tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Spot 448 channel. And man, I don't know. I ain't dropped no video. I dropped that one video about the VR, but man, I might drop another video talking some shit or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'll see if one of these morons want to come on here with me and talk.
I'm with you.
All right, cool. So we're just talking about whatever that's going on, but. Man, thank you. And as I always say, and I'm going to pass it on to my man Bloody because he got it better than me right now, man.
Woo! It's Friday night, so you know what time it is. If you ain't got to work in the morning, you best take your ass to bed. And if you ain't got to, you should be doing one of two things. You best be gaming or you best be doing that pants off, dance off. Let's
go! Yeah, 100, man. He couldn't even speak on it, man. I said Bloody out here, they're putting in that work. You know what I'm saying? Let's go.
Last time 100 saw Coochie saw him.
Lord have
Facts.
Oh, shit.
Shit. Anyway, thank you guys for hanging out with us, man. I will go out here and solicit, promote, man. I'll throw a couple of clips of what I've heard through the show and do our thing, man. And for the people that will listen to the show like they always do later on, thank you. Much love. Support the team, man. Thank you. All right, everybody have a good night. Peace.
Hey, thanks for checking out the GRG podcast. All your gaming news and our special topic of the week. Make sure to join us every Friday night, 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central, and 6:30 Pacific. This was the GRG podcast.